this thing on? Hello? Hello? Are we all here today? Are we all ready? I hope so. Oh boy, gang. We got some stuff to talk about. Oh, we got some stuff to talk about. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of Whick TV. It's a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. We got some great people coming on later today. That's going to kind of pop in, pop out. So it's pretty casual today. Radical Coder will be joining us. Stardust will be joining us. We might have Enemy Charlie hop in. And if you have like big thoughts and you want to call in and you're not a complete stranger, why not, right? Why not? We can make it a semi-open panel today, semi-open discussion. Initially, I was going to have a guest on today to talk about tariffs and the impact of tariffs on the economy, not just the American economy, but the global economy as well. Unfortunately, 2 days ago, the gentleman who I had scheduled to come on to talk about it had to cancel. And so I was like, well, damn. What am I going to do today? What am I going to talk about today? What are we going to cover today? I need a show. I need something to talk about. I know a lot of you love when I go live, and so to my loyal viewers, we wanted to have a show for you today. But I didn't know what to talk about. I was going to talk about Hasan, and we still will. He's been doing a media blitz, doing segments in the New York Times where he's being interviewed and things like that. The Daily Show had him on the other day. They called him the progressive, the liberal king of Twitter, or the progressive king of Twitter. This kind of like blitz that he is doing, I feel, is going to hurt Democrats. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why, and we're going to cover it. We're going to talk about whether Hasan is good for the left or bad for the left, what that means, what we mean when we say the left, right? All of that we're going to cover. Okay, we got one of our first guests here. Hello. Hello. We're live right now, by the way.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We got audio.
Alright, my shit's running, funky right now. My whole computer's, like, slow as fuck.
Mm.
I'm gonna be streaming this, I think, on Kick today because it's been a while.
Sure.
I also don't want Hasan's orbiters to get me.
We're going to talk about Hasan, but I was just telling my audience this.
Mhm.
So last night I found a clip of one of my haters, one of my OG haters, getting arrested
Mhm.
by Chris Hansen.
Oh. Oh!
And I found the court case, and I found the text messages he's been sending to the person he thought was an underage girl.
Oh my god!
And we're going to read a little bit of that today too. I hope that's okay, cuz
I am so okay with that. That's fucking crazy. What the
I'm going to
fuck?
be super petty about it. Like, this guy
No,
called
be
me a Nazi.
petty.
He called me like a Nazi enabler, a fascist enabler, and that I was doing real harm to the community. All the while, this dude's soliciting 15-year-old girls. This guy's 35, by the way, I think.
Oh my god.
And
Just like a real freaking pedophile.
yeah, not
Jesus.
even close. And yeah, so we're going to cover a little bit of that today once people get here, once people get situated and we get in and get started. How you doing, Radical Coder? We're live, by the way, so no slurs. Okay, I know how you
Yeah,
love to get
okay, I'll hold him
with the
back.
slurs.
Thank
Okay.
you for the heads up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to set my camera up and stuff.
take your
Just
time.
getting
Take
here.
your time.
Doing well.
But yeah, I remember him going on like my panels. He went on Stardust stream to criticize her for platforming people he didn't like, and wow, it's just wild to think about. There's a little bit of Schadenfreude in there. I'm not gonna lie, but to be clear, it's bad.
Oh, I would
what
be
he did, right?
delighted. I would be delighted. I'm not gonna Wick. If someone I hated I would be clapping like a seal. That's great.
I haven't even interacted with this guy in like a year, right? I think the last
Mhm.
time we interacted was 2023 of all times, right? But he used to be big in the kind of Twitch poll scene. He would bill himself as like a radicalization expert and things like that, and we got a lot to go over today, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. How you doing, Radical Coder? How's life with you?
Pretty good. Hanging. I mean, I got this. I'm showing off this guy. I've been exploiting him lately. This is Umbreon, my sidekick, and he
Umbreon,
is
nice to
just
meet you, Umbreon. How are
Umbreon.
you?
Yeah. Oh, tell him how you're
He's
doing.
very cute. Very cute.
He's literally like the best dog in the world. So yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Enjoying that.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
This is it's a. I didn't know until I saw your tweet that we were covering this particular the Aston stuff, but I actually I mean, we'll get into it later, but I actually know him like in real life, long before all the Twitch poll stuff, and so we'll go into a little bit of lore, but I actually like
The guy that got Chris
I
Hansen?
know him personally. Yeah, I actually know him personally, so this will be very interesting.
It's crazy. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know we were going to be covering that till last night when I saw that he got arrested, right? So this is kind of shocking. It's news to me. We got one more coming, Stardust. She's gonna be a little late, but that's okay. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Hasan a little bit, right? What I initially billed you all guys for, and also another thing that happened yesterday that I think is worth covering. I'm not sure how familiar you are with it, but the whole 8647 stuff. Did you hear about that at all, Enemy Charlie?
What is that? 8647?
So, do you know who James Comey is?
The name sounds familiar, and I feel like if I get a face.
So,
That's not the CIA or FBI? Yes, it is. It's the big old FBI guy, the tall guy.
The former FBI director, yes.
Yeah. Yes, I know of him.
Yes. So he put out an Instagram post yesterday with seashells that's formed the shape of 8647, right? He posted it on his Instagram. And a lot of people lost their minds and said that it was a call to assassinate Trump and that he was calling for violence against Trump. It was a signal, a dog whistle, if you will, to the Trump haters.
What the fuck?
Well, we're gonna get into it. There's a whole Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, went on Fox News, said he should be behind bars for it. All these things, right?
What the fuck?
So do you not know what the 8647 thing is? Do you just
I have no idea. What the fuck is that?
So 47th president, 40 is Trump, 47, right? And 86 means a lot of things. It can mean to get rid of, to kick out. In some instances it can mean to kill, right? There is a wide variety of definitions. In my opinion, and not to kind of like jump ahead of ourselves too much, 8646, meaning get rid of Biden, right? Impeach Biden. They sold merch on this. A lot of the people who were pearl-clutching about the 8647 stuff had used the term 8646 before, right? On their public Twitters, on their public feeds, and things like that.
But for Biden.
Yeah, but for Biden, because 46 president's Biden, right?
Right.
In this call, this pretense that it must mean violence, that it must be a threat, I find stunning in its hypocrisy. And we're going to cover that a little bit. We're going to go over it. But we are going to be covering the Hasan stuff and our opinions on Hasan. Is Hasan good for us, bad for us? What do we mean by us? Do we talk about Democrats? Do we talk about the left? Or we talk about something else? Have the Democrats, do they deserve to be replaced by people like Hasan? We're going to get into that too. Yeah. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about or share today that we can cover? I mean, this is kind of a casual day for me. This is kind of last minute replacement of a topic that fell through, but
that's okay. What was the original topic?
we're gonna talk about. I was gonna have a guy on to talk about tariffs and its effects on the global economy, things like that.
Oh,
Very wonky, but he couldn't make it, so.
Oh, that sucks. That would have been interesting.
It would have been. But enough preamble. Stardust can get here when she gets here, okay? I will be sharing my screen so we can all watch. Okay, guys, can you see this? Let me see if I can. So this
it's super surreal.
This is Aston Mack, okay? Some of you who've seen my show for a while, who've been friends for a while, okay, of the Whick channel, may recognize this gentleman. Let's just watch the clip and see what happens here, okay?
Why?
I don't want to talk to you anymore. I've given you too much of my time already.
So I'm going to keep walking with you until you leave.
If you want to do that, you could do that.
Okay, so here we are.
I heard you got another guy. It was a BLMer. Do we have that tape?
Just back from Polk County, Florida, Sheriff Grady Judd, and we have the tape of this guy who we arrested.
Let's watch.
Please, dude, I said no. Literally have the sex trafficking line.
Get up. Get up. I'm not talking. Get up.
I'm not trying to anyone, please. I literally said no. Can you grab my shoe?
Move.
So this BLMer is denying anything.
35-year-old Aston Mack, BLM activist, worked with challenged children in Orlando, claimed to me that he had the sex trafficking hotline number on his phone in his pocket, was just going to help this girl out. But the texts tell a very different story, Jesse, and you'll see that all on True Blue, my streaming crime network.
All right, so they lie to you, but you have the texts every time.
I have the texts every time. And here's something else. This guy told me 3 times he was 30. Now, I know he's 35. So if you're lying about something as simple as that, what does that say about the rest of your scheme that evening?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
And it is the same guy. Ladies
I don't like
and gentlemen.
that they call him a BLMer.
Well, he was big in the
hard
BLM
R.
scene.
It's
Like
crazy.
that he
Yeah, but
claims
that
to
felt
be.
that felt like a little bit, you know.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
I understand
felt
the
very
Fox News is
racialized.
doing it, but they're not inaccurate here. He was big into the political community organizing scene there. He had partnerships with Arsenal, right, and some other groups that worked with BLM and all these things. So they're not wrong. And that's what he built himself when he would come on panels with me and things like that. That he was an expert at community organizing and de-radicalization and all these things, and we were all doing it wrong, and he was the one doing it right. He does say the texts have a different story, and I found his court case and his text messages, which we will be going over right now as we go. Give me 1 second.
Yikes.
Let's look at the charges, first of all. Let me see if I can make this bigger so you guys can actually read it. Can you guys read that?
Like Aston Williams.
Okay, so unlawful use of a two-way communication device, coerce of a sex act with a child less than 18-year-old, human trafficking. Travel to meet the and use a computer of a soliciting a guardian for sex with the minor, right?
Oh my God.
Same charge again. And resisting and obstructing an officer without violence. So the big one here, obviously, is coercing to commit a sex act.
Trafficking a child.
for a child less than 18 years old.
Oh my God.
Now, our friend Stardust, who will be here, got woke scolded by this guy. Let's watch a clip of that I put. This is a guy, Aston Mack here. This is what he says.
And so, you just kind of respond to it the way that you do. So.
I mean, I get tons of vitriol, especially when I interact with like Destiny or Hunter Avalon's group. Or it doesn't make me turn into like a weirdo over it. I don't know.
I disagree. I think you're being really fucking weird on Twitter.
How am I being weird on Twitter?
I don't know about Twitter, but how is he being weird? I don't know. Stardust called this one. He pegged it. She pegged it. Bro, let's see. Let's watch. So we're gonna go through it. Here's a court filing. Again,
she said, did she mean like he's being weird on Twitter, like with kids?
No, I don't think any of us knew he was. He did call himself Gunnar Aston, right? Like that was his screen name.
Oh.
Gunnar
Was it really?
Aston.
I don't like that.
Oh God.
He was the quote from the now deleted. Unfortunately, they deleted it. Like Arsenal was quick in deleting the videos they had with Aston Mack. But that was his tagline in their video: "Is Gunnar's once a Gunnar, always a Gunnar. Gunnar's gonna goon," and it was his whole sex positive thing. One of the takes he's always had. God. One of the takes he's always had was that all children mandatory should be put on puberty blockers until they're old enough to decide their own gender. Okay.
What?
He's just been weird. He's just been a weird guy.
That had to have been trying to earn points. That's stupid.
It is. It is.
That's ridiculous.
That was his thing.
He's not trans, right? He's just like a cis guy.
I think he called himself non-binary, but I'm not sure. It's been a bit since I've
been a bit, right? Since
yeah. And he would come on my show. It was before, unfortunately, my YouTube channel. So I don't have the VODs on Twitch, or I'd show some clips of that, unfortunately. And a lot of the panels he was on have gotten deleted. People are quick. But yeah, let's read the let's go through the little charging here.
Yeah.
So on May 2nd, so just this month, ladies and gentlemen, on May 2nd, 2025, the Polk County Sheriff's Office began conducting an undercover operation within Polk County, Florida, where undercover detectives were online, attempting to locate and identify offenders who use the internet to sexually exploit children. Your affiant, name blocked out, with the Polk County Sheriff's Office Bureau of Special Investigations Computer Crimes Unit, was monitoring the online communications of another person who is a full-time task force officer with Homeland Security Investigations, although was originally employed by St. Petersburg Police Department. During this operation, a person who will not be named was working in an undercover capacity within his law enforcement duties. That person conducted all online interactions with the suspect with exception of a recorded phone call. Throughout the duration of the affidavit to follow, this person will be hereinafter referred to as the UC, or undercover cop, whom was posed as a human trafficker who posted an online ad offering her cousin, a fictitious 15-year-old female, for commercial sexual acts. In this advertisement, clothed images of a female subject who is presently employed by the St. Petersburg Police Department was utilized as a decoy. This female subject has had her images digitally modified to resemble a teenager, a minor, intensely youthful appearance. This is commonly known as age regression software. Notably, the online ad did not specify the subject depicted in the photographs was a minor, and the age of the female listed in the age was displayed as 99 years old. The ad was posted to a known escort adult prostitution website where the user has to be at least 18 years of age to post. So here's the scene we got. So we got an undercover sting operation. They they show this, what they call, and I don't have a picture of this, right? But they call it a very, very young looking woman. And they don't say her age. They list it as 99. Okay. So at this point, okay, sus. If you're looking for online prostitutes, it's weird. First of all,
that's crazy. Yeah.
But you go and you find this person. You don't necessarily know they're a minor. So, okay. But then we have more to the story here. The following are excerpts of the text messages between the suspect and the undercover cop via written communication text messages on a recorded line. These messages are not intended to be a direct transcription of the chats, but merely a synopsis of some of them. So the suspect texts and says this. So the suspect here is Aston Mack. Saw an ad, was looking for more information. Are you seeing clients? Undercover cop, yes. Hi, Lexi free all night. She's almost 16. Shorty spinner and a lot of fun. In call only, discreet and safe. Rates are 120 quick, 150 half, 200 hour with unlimited pops. Quick BBBJ special is 80. I don't know what any of these terms are, mind you.
What the fuck?
Suspect is like, available now? Yeah. What's the location? Says Aston Mack. What do you mean almost 16? Will be next month. She's sexy AF. West Lakeland by Silver Moon Drive-In. Suspect says underage. That's weird. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Aston. It is weird. UC says it's not. It's her choice. Suspect. Can I see pics? Is this her manager? Calling it her manager. First of all, okay, look. If you were texting, right? First of all, okay. Soliciting online prostitutes, it's scummy behavior. I don't like it. I know a lot of people are sex positive and all that.
No, I'm not. I don't think that. Not in that way. Not me.
Fair enough. Radical Code, are you a sex positive guy? Or are you a prostitute guy?
I mean, like, I'm not a prostitute guy.
No, as in someone.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, though. Yeah,
you know. Are you soliciting me right now, Whick?
No, sorry.
No, I mean, it's definitely off-putting. But yeah, I'm not like against sex work or anything necessarily.
Yes.
I'm like pro sex worker. I'm anti John.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I lean more in that direction for sure.
That's probably, I think, the reasonable person's position, that a lot of people are trafficked and kind of forced almost into the sex work. It's not, they're not doing it by choice, not entirely. And it's very predatory to seek out these women and solicit them. Like if you have if a girl's hungry, feed them. Don't shove your dick in them, right? Like for money, right? Like if you want to help them.
For sure.
But anyway, so that's the scene. So first of all, scummy, off the rope. But then she's underage. That's weird. Can I see pics? Like, is that the next? I just don't understand.
That's crazy.
I don't understand what leads you to do that as an adult at all, right? You're like, well, damn, she's underage. That's weird. I want to see. That's scummy behavior. So
yeah, because like up until that point, like the initial framing that apparently he said like, oh, he was trying to help her or something. Like up until that moment, it almost could be like okay, like let's see. But then as soon as he's like, oh, can I see pics? It's like, okay, well now it's
like, dude, what the fuck?
There's more.
Clearly, you're not just interested in helping this person.
There's more. Don't worry. So the undercover cop says, cousin of the female, but also not doing dates. I just had a baby. So the undercover cop then sends an age-regressed image file depicting a teenage female taking a selfie-style image as she stands in front of a mirror. The female is wearing a white shirt and a black with heart pants. So the undercover cop sends this age-regressed photo to Aston Mack, kind of show like this is the almost not quite 16-year-old girl, right? That I just gave 15. You the rates for, right?
Can't rent a car, can't drive a car.
Yeah. Then sends another one of the teenage female, depicting a teenage female laying on an apparent bench. Beach? Bench? I think it's bench. Could be beach. Hard to read that. It's kind of blurred out. The female is wearing a tie-dye shirt and shorts. The suspect says, those all look different. Can you snap one real quick? This is getting sketchy. Also, will you all come through to Orlando? Or do you only do in-call? It's sketchy. He knows it's sketchy. Like, he's nervous. This dude, Aston Mack, is nervous, okay? He's like, trying to be like, this kind of seems sketchy. You guys want to come on over to my side of things, right? Type of deal. What is... Oh, sorry about that. Something with my lights going on. The undercover cop says in call only. Do you guys know what in call means? Are we talking about like you have to come to them?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure about the terminology.
Yeah. I'm assuming from context.
I don't solicit prostitutes.
No.
So I don't
Enemy
know.
Charlie, what are you doing?
You're supposed to enough in that domain.
Yeah, it's this thing. I think from context, what I'm guessing, okay, and maybe one of my chatters can help us out, right? No judgment, well, a little judgment, but, we'll give you a pardon to help us out here. I think in call means you gotta come to them, right? We won't go to you. It's in house. We will host. Yeah. I think
that sounds right.
Yeah. Suspect says, okay, y'all are kind of far. Can we do a verification before I head that way? FaceTime? So, Aston is wanting to verify that this girl's really who she says he is. Really is.
Almost 16.
Yeah. So he wants to be very sure before he comes over and spends all that time. He doesn't want to waste time if she's not underage or something. So the undercover cop sends another age regressed image depicting a clothed teenage female holding a piece of paper with her name and date handwritten on it, Lexi, May 5, 2025, and asks how long you want with her. Ashton, an hour. Is cash okay? Can we do a FaceTime or Google Meet first? Bro, this isn't even... Maybe this guy was willing to pay for an hour with this 15, sorry, I keep saying 16. It's not. 15, what he thought was a 15-year-old girl. Remember, this is the guy who used to call me a Nazi, who says I was a fascist enabler, who used to go around pretending I was causing harm to the community, saying I wasn't doing it right. This is that guy, okay? I just want you guys to keep in mind who he is. Judge me by my enemies. Judge me by my enemies, ladies and gentlemen.
A pedophile.
Yes. Willing to spend money on a 15-year-old girl. What a demon. Piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah.
The undercover cop says, Cash, we will meet first in the lobby to talk, and then you can see her. I got my ways of screening. No vid chats, cops be tracking that shit. The undercover cops being sneaky. Suspect says, that seems like a setup. Cops can't do shit about a video. Yeah? Can you at least speak on the phone?
Why do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, how certain are you about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Can you at least speak on the phone? This is sketchy. Or if you're going to send a picture with a date, have her topless in it. So I can say y'all are
Jesus.
Oh.
Bro!
Oh my god. Get that little girl's boobs out. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
God,
I'm glad that this was a sting and not not an actual victim, thankfully.
Well, it makes me wonder,
yeah, that's crazy.
Has he done this
How many
before
times
with
has he?
actual
Of course he's done
girls?
this. Of course he's done this.
Yeah, he sounds like it. Yeah, potentially.
He knew where to go. He knew where to go, and he had. Of course, he's done it before.
It does sound like it. It sounds like he had a whole screening process or something, right? Like he wants to make sure he's trying different ways. Damn. So the undercover cop says, cops track video calls. I can call you, but no vids, not sending CP. The suspect, Aston Mack, at this point says, I'm worried you're a cop. This is a weird setup. Cops can track calls as easily as video. Undercover cop says, not from a text now number set up on VPA. Vid have to use real numbers. F that.
Right.
I have no idea if they get a VPN. Sorry, not a VPA. My bad. Yeah, I have no idea how cops track things or if they can. Ashton Mack says, you don't need real numbers. You can use spoof emails. Bro's definitely done this before.
Yeah,
Bro's
of course he's
definitely done this before. Google Meet. The undercover cop says, I told you, no vid. Suspect says, I just want to verify that she's okay with everything and real, and y'all are not cops.
Jesus Christ.
As long as that 15-year-old girl says she's okay, Ashton Mack thinks it's okay. Bro.
My God.
The undercover cop says, plenty of other girls out there. Go find one. Keep in mind safe. She already is a runaway from Ohio foster home. And the Ashton Mack says, and only in call, you won't drive this way or meet somewhere in the middle? Undercover cop says, we ain't cops. I'll meet you first to talk.
Well, they have to tell you if they are, so you know that.
I don't think that's true. But
is he stupid?
No, it's not. That's the joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but in this instance, his horny overcame his stupid.
His desire for sex with a child.
Yes, he was very excited to meet this 15-year-old girl that he wanted to see topless to make sure it was really her, so that he could fuck her for an hour and pay for it. Cash.
God damn.
Ashton Mack says, where are you trying to have me meet you? Undercover cop, we got no car. We got a room. So in call only. It's safer for us. A hotel. We ain't from here. Ashton says, I can send an Uber for y'all, no problems, and send you back. No worries. But that's also understandable. You can call me, by the way, to work something out. In call only or car date. Ashton Mack says, okay, give me a call real quick. There's apparently the suspect calls the undercover cop. The undercover cop does not answer, and no voicemail message is left. Called you, trying to get the when and where. I still interested. I can come meet you. Undercover cop says, okay, let me get her, and we'll call you. Now, the undercover cop, called the suspect, spoke with him for about 4 minutes and 33 seconds. During the call, the suspect asks which person he was talking to which the undercover cop advised he was talking to Lexi's cousin. The suspect asked, you guys aren't cops, right? The undercover asked if he wanted to talk to Lexi, at which time the undercover cop said he did. The suspect asked person who's not going to be named, who was posing as Lexi, if she was comfortable meeting up, to which she said she was. The undercover cop reiterates Lexi's age, reminding him in case he needed it. The suspect asked the undercover cop if the undercover and Lexi, wanted any party favors. Is he talking drugs or something?
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Probably like alcohol and stuff or anything else, yeah.
Once the suspect knew the plan to meet with the undercover cop, he stated he wanted the undercover to meet with him outside to verify her and make sure everyone was okay. The undercover cop says, she's in the shower. You heading this way yet? Suspect says, you didn't give me an address. Undercover cop, we'll send when she's about ready. We buy whatever location, right? Also bring a condom. No babies. She turns 16 in June. Suspect says, we should chat before I see her for sure. Yes, we will. Okay, cool. If y'all are in a hotel, would you want a better one in Orlando? Do y'all need somewhere to stay? No, we good here. Can I ask how long you've been doing this? Just every now and then. Problem like a year or so. And y'all haven't had any issues? That's crazy. So far, just 2 creeper weirdos, but otherwise, we're very careful. Oops. Suspect says, well, it's very dangerous. I hope y'all stay safe. If it's just for money, there are definitely other options, but I understand. What a kind-hearted soul. Out of the goodness of his heart. He's just so virtuous. Trying to help these poor underage girls out. They don't have any other option. And Ashton Mack is so willing to go.
Out of the goodness of his heart, he's having sex with teenage girls.
What a piece of motherfucking shit.
Jesus.
Piece of shit. Undercover cop says, yeah, she should be ready for shortly. You nearby yet? No, y'all are far. Can she do another verification pick? Another. I took her earlier. She getting ready now. I kind of need one from now to verify. I'm getting closer. I'm closer now. I want to say again, I want to talk with you. The undercover cop says, we're going to talk first. Just be discreet. Try not to get kicked out of here. Okay, where can I meet you? You there? Yeah, sorry. She dropped a glass in the bathroom. Got a little cut on her foot and had to get some Band-Aids. Finishing getting ready. You nearby? Aston says, yes. Undercover cop. Okay. Aston Mack, can I meet you or... Yeah, we can meet in the lobby. Just come sit next to me on the couch. I got long reddish hair, green plaid shirt over white shirt. What lobby? Again, just interested. I'm talking to you. Talking to you. He called. Didn't answer. No voicemail. We get to talk first. You pay, then give you the room card to go see her. I'm not doing dates. Can't right now. Suspect says, is that you? The undercover cop says, put on a black shirt. Just realized had her blood on mine. Shake my head. Pics are Lexi, not me. I ain't doing dates. Just helping set them up. Suspect says, I meant on the couch. What hotel? Undercover cop, you can meet me in the lobby and talk a few. Suspect, what lobby? Which lobby? You're not telling me where to go. Called the undercover cop. No answer, no voicemail. Undercover, phone just died. Sorry, I had to get my charger. Like, at what point over all of these does he not realize, right? Just from a wisdom kind of point of view, like, man, you're being given the runaround. This is...
Why are they prolonging it? Why wouldn't they just have him go to the hotel?
I think they're trying to make sure, like, if I had to guess, that they wanted to make sure that the cops are in position, right? So they're not just hiding all the time, waiting for someone to come. They're waiting for him to get closer. They want everyone to be kind of in position. So the guy's probably stalling for time so they can get ready to nab the guy. When
right.
You've seen Chris Hansen Dateline to Catch a Predator, right? They sit there, have a seat right over here, and they talk and they videotape it. Part of that is to give the cops time to kind of set up, so when they leave, cops can come in and get them. Okay. But Ashton Mack is, as Cerna says in my chat, he's making a huge effort to effectuate this. He is going out of his way to make sure that he gets a room alone with a 15-year-old girl who he wants to pay money to have sex with.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to keep going. Undercover cop says, shit, sorry, thought I did. Let me get it. Suspect, Ashton Mack, question marks. Ugh, my phone died again. Suspect, I just need the name. Call me. Then the undercover cop gives the address. Sorry, phone is messed up. I'm in lobby, black shirt, long hair, on couch. Ashton Mack says he's on the couch. Undercover cop says, okay, by coffee bar, I'm inside. Hey, that you? Black shirt. I'm at the back, gray shirt, by the 2 TVs. Red writing in front of coffee bar. Yeah, I saw you. Come here. Come back here. Undercover cop attempted a test call, but did not display on the suspect's cell phone screen. Test. And that's it. So at approximately 1945 hours, the undercover cop provided the undercover address to the suspect of the Polk County Sheriff's Office Computer Crimes Unit, acted in undercover capacity, and posed as the minor's adult cousin in an effort to meet the suspect in person at the undercover location. At approximately 1956 hours, the suspect, later identified as Aston Mack, arrived at the undercover location and met with the person again, discussed Lexi's age, and explained that he has to be careful with her. When asked for the money, the suspect said, I have the money, and took his wallet from his pocket to show the undercover cop the money. The suspect was nervous about the amount of people in the lobby and asked them to walk to the room with him. They and the suspect then talked in the hallway outside the room. Then asked how she knew the suspect wasn't a cop. And the suspect then lifted his shirt and spun in a circle to prove he didn't have a gun. At approximately 1959 hours, the undercover cop walked suspect Mack to the room number where the decoy was stationed with the takedown team. Once inside the room, the undercover cop asked suspect Mack for $100 to show he was not, of the $200, to show he was not just going to not pay. The suspect accessed his wallet and flashed cash monies. As the undercover cop was exiting the door, the suspect became spooked and took off running down the hallway and outside the exit door of the undercover location. Members who were dressed in law enforcement tactical vests with the word sheriff clearly displayed on the front and the back of said vest, assisting identified themselves and called out for the suspect to stop. However, he continued fleeing. Several Polk County Sheriff Office members gave chase, pursued the suspect outside the undercover location, where the suspect was soon captured and taken into custody by members of the surveillance team and or taking down team. It should be noted the suspect Mack dropped a powered-on cellular device that was later identified in the same device used to communicate in the hallway that she was fleeing. At approximately, and they go on the
Hold on, I need to go get some water. I will be right back.
Do your thing. Take your time. I know this is a little long, right? But I wanted to go through it. Okay, I wanted to go through it later.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah. During an audio-video recorded interview, after he was arrested, suspect Mack claimed he was looking at porn when he found the ad in question. Suspect Mack claimed he was trying to save Lexi and the cousin who was trying to pimp her out because he works with special needs children and he knows about human trafficking. Suspect Mack stated he used his Samsung cell phone to communicate with undercover cops and drove from Orlando to the undercover location. Suspect Mack could not explain why he didn't contact law enforcement if he was sincerely concerned. He stated he does not trust law enforcement. Suspect Mack said he made a stupid choice and it was a dumb idea to travel to the undercover location. And that's the story, right? And then they reiterate the charges, okay? That as a result of this investigation, Aston Mack has been charged with the following. The suspect solicited an undercover detective for unprotected sex with a minor in exchange for $200 U.S. currency. The suspect did solicit, lure, or entice or attempt to solicit, lure, or entice a parent or legal guardian or custodian of a child or a person believed by the suspect to be a parent, legal guardian, or custodian of a 15-year-old child to engage in any sexual conduct in violation of the statute. The suspect traveled by vehicle for the purposes of engaging in unlawful sexual conduct with a child or a person believed the suspect believed to be a 15-year-old child after using a computer, cellular phone, online service, internet service, local bulletin board service, or any other device capable of electronic data storage or transmission to solicit, lure, or entice, or attempt to solicit, lure, or entice a parent, legal guardian, blah, blah, blah. Bro was trying to have sex with kids. Okay, we're going to cut to the chase right there, bro. Bro was trying to fuck some kids, okay?
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Jesus Christ, that's so crazy. Oh my God.
So you say you know the guy.
I do.
We got $3 in chat from Jeff Lewis. $3 in chat from Jeff Lewis is asking, can we get some background lore on him? So give us tell us about Aston Mack, kitty fucker.
Yeah, Aston. Yeah. I mean, again, I it's not like I know him super well, but I've been like around him before. Like I've hung out in spaces with him. Like we have mutual friends.
Like in the real world.
Yeah. The first time I ever tripped acid, he was there. He was like a witness to it. And it was not a good time, frankly. I not to go into like all details that aren't like mine to communicate. But like there was boundary crossing with people who like didn't invite it. And
by
at
Aston,
the time, we called it out. Yeah, by Aston, yeah.
What did he do?
We called it out and put a stop to it. Like smacked someone's ass and was like trying to lay in bed with another person. Like we were all like they were not in the state. It wasn't okay,
no.
you know. And we were like, this is fucked up. But like that was, you know, yeah, I mean nothing like this, but definitely red flags. Yeah, kind of crazy.
That's
super
Jesus
surreal.
Christ.
To read all that.
I think so. I'll be real. I'd read some of the text messages before the stream, but I didn't go through all of them in order. I just wanted to see what they were, just to make sure they were worth covering. And oh boy, they were. This dude obviously, at least to me, obviously he's done this before. I mean, I don't think we can does anyone doubt he did this before? Right? He seemed to have a pattern of behavior that he he had like a process that he seemed to want to do.
He seemed to know exactly what to do. He had like, what did it say? Like a second cell phone?
Something, yeah, the Samsung cell phone, right?
So he had a cell phone for, I guess, gooner purposes. Jesus Christ.
He claims, after he was arrested, he claims he was trying to save her, right? Trying to rescue them. Do we believe that at all?
Mm-mm.
I'm not convinced.
No. If that was a concern, he would have called the police and reported the listing.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do there.
Absolutely. People are saying he had sponsorship by a company called Arsenal. I tried to find those videos. They're down now. They're not here anymore, right? A lot of the old videos from the Twitch poll days are unfortunately gone because, well, it was before my YouTube days. Twitch doesn't save your videos automatically past a certain date, and unfortunately, those have all been deleted. My bad.
Why did he call you a Nazi?
I think.
Were you saying Sig Heil and doing a?
Yes, that's exactly what was happening.
That
was wearing the swastika. No.
Yeah.
It was back during the argument at the time was during the deplatforming days, right? The punch and Nazi arguments, right? Where you had people arguing that Nazis should be punched and deplatformed and stalked and harassed, et cetera, et cetera. And I've always been anti-violence. I've always been anti-deplatforming, anti-stalking, anti-harassing, even Nazis. I don't think Nazis should get punched in the face and things like that. So I would always argue against that. I'd be like, no, we can't do that. If we act like them, we become them, and that's not a good thing. And so he would say, oh, you're just protecting Nazis because you're a Nazi, right? You're just trying to protect Nazis because you worry that you and your friends are going to get beat up and things like that. I'm like,
yeah, you would.
Well, that's a ridiculous accusation to make, that you're a Nazi because you're anti-violence. I'm personally pro-punch Nazis in the face, but I don't think that you being against it makes you a Nazi. I think that's ridiculous.
One of the reasons I oppose punching Nazis in the face is because who decides who's a Nazi, right?
Right. Yeah, like because he decided that you were a Nazi.
That means you're punchable.
Which means, Whick could be punched.
No punching. Okay, I like my face. I like how it looks. I don't want it punched in the face. I've been punched in the face before, mind you. My younger days. It doesn't feel good.
It hurts.
It does. Have you been punched in the face?
Yeah, I've been punched in the face.
When did you get punched in the face? When did you get punched in the face? Tell us the story.
Once when I was 14 and once when I was 12. When I was 14, when I was 12, it was a fight with my older brother. We were punching each other because we were arguing over who was going to take a shower first. And so it just ended up with us punching each other. Ridiculous, but you know. And then when I got punched in the face when I was 14, I was fighting with my friend's sister, who was a year younger than us. I was making fun of her because she took laxatives and then went roller skating. And as you would assume, she shit herself. I don't know. She thought it'd be fun. She's very stupid. She was a very stupid girl. And so I was making fun of her for shitting herself and doing that and being a moron. And I was laying on the ground. And she sat on me. She was much bigger than me. She was a big girl. She was a year younger than me, but big. And I was little at the time. And she put her...
Had she already, like, she cleaned up, I hope, before this argument?
No, this was months before. This had happened months before. And so I was making fun of her months later for this. Sorry. I was laying on the floor of my friend's room, and she got on top of me, put her, like, knees on my arms, and just punched me as hard as she could in my eye. And what I did is I sat up and I said, that didn't even hurt. And then I blacked out. And then I woke up crying.
Oh, no.
So that was my getting punched really hard in the face.
I like the attempt at dignity there. Saying, that didn't hurt. That all you got, right?
And then immediately blacked out. Immediately, like, fell forward and blacked out.
Oh,
so
no.
that was my, yeah.
Oh, no. $20 from Alexander Rin. So thank you for the $20. I appreciate that. Says this, man, the effort this guy went through for sex. I could almost believe it was to save her with his weirdness, but he didn't call the cops when he went there. pretty clear he wanted to leave room for plausible deniability. Thank you for the $20.
Yeah.
And remember, the bro had asked to send a topless picture of this girl he knew was 15 years old.
Literally
He
requested
solicited
child porn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that alone.
That's not something you do if you want to save someone.
No, I mean, it's just something that you immediately report to the police. That's not something that you can vigilante.
Yeah.
That's
Like, what was he
crazy.
gonna do? He's gonna like fight him, like, or
Like,
fight
yeah,
the people who are
literally.
taking. Like, what? I don't. Yeah, that's so bizarre.
The whole thing is...
Wick, I'm jealous.
Why are you jealous?
I want this. This is like my enemies, Wick. I wish that this would happen to them. I wish, like, this is like the kind of. I wish I could experience what you're experiencing right now. I'm assuming emotionally. The vindication. Vindication.
It feels petty. I'm gonna be real. It feels a little petty to go through it and make a whole like segment on it. I'm like, come on, this dude hurt children, or he's trying to hurt children. Why are we making a segment on this? So the part of me feels like, man, why are we even doing this? But then another larger part of me is like,
he sucks.
Fuck this guy, right? Like,
fuck him. Oh my god, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck this guy. He went on a crusade with Endless Cemetery, a lot of other people, right? To try to denigrate me, to try to like shit talk me. He would go on other people's panels and make fun of me and things like that. And all the time, he's soliciting 15-year-old girls because, again, he'd done this before. So fuck him.
Awful.
Boy,
and it's apparently a sex fest, according
enemies.
to a radical coder, right? It sounded like he was sex pesty in the real world.
At least in that one instance that I would, I think this is like the most time I spent with him was this one night. It was a friend's birthday, like that. The things he made me very uncomfortable, and like, I mean, we put a stop to it, and we were like, dude, like, cut that shit out. That's like the main memory I have of him in person, and it's
do we know,
wild.
like,
Very
you
wild.
hang in that crowd a little more than I do. Has any of the people who hung out with him and like platformed him and all these things, have any of them condemned what he's done? Right? Have any of them come out with have you seen anything of them saying, hey, if this is true, that's gross, and I condemn this guy, right? Have you seen any of that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. You hang in that kind of
I don't
crowd.
know people who have connections to that group or anything. I'm not. I knew him like way before. Like, this is like we're like 2016. Like, this is like a really long time ago. Yeah, this is like when I was in
2016
college,
is like way ago, right? Okay, fair enough. That's fair,
Yeah.
right? I don't even remember who I hung out with in 2016. Let's be real. I was
Like,
in the military.
it's the group of friends that I was that I know him through it's not like a political group of friends. It's like real
college
people
friends
that I knew. And,
yeah,
like, exactly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yes, I will say, look, such is the fate of all enemies of Wick. They're all. It's only a matter of time till they all get caught for being shitty people. Okay, because how can you hate Wick? Really, I can get not liking Wick, finding Wick boring, perhaps. That's fair. I sometimes don't like Wick. I sometimes find Wick boring. But to hate Wick, that takes a special kind of person, okay? A special kind of person. The kind of person who...
A pedophile!
Yeah, basically! Who solicits children! Who solicits 15-year-olds to fuck them! Wow,
God.
that is insane. It is just crazy. It's always the most woke scoldy, too, right?
It is. I was actually going to make that point that in my experience, so I LARP.
A LARPer?
And I'm a LARPer.
A
Oh
LARPer,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, I put the elf ears on and I go out into the desert.
Is it like in the movie Role Models? Because it looks really fun in that movie.
I don't know. I've never seen role models, but yes, we do go out into the desert and hit each other with like styrofoam swords. It's great. It's a blast. I love it. Or foam swords, I guess. But the wokest dudes at LARP, who are all very like self-flagellating for being like straight white guys, inevitably creepy as fuck. It always ends up that way.
It's always
like once
the people...
they spend way too long talking about like how, oh yeah, it's just, we know this space is so white and everyone, you know, there's just so many like old like straight guys and oh, you must be so uncomfortable. I'm like, what? I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the evil.
It's
every time.
It's the safe spaces, right? It's the people who like, this is a safe space. You can trust us here. I am convinced.
You're never safe.
I am convinced that's basically a honeypot for predators. They either the predator themselves is setting it up, or they infiltrate those spaces to prey upon people who think they are safe. This is why I tell my audience all the time: my channel, my Discord, my chat, hell, this panel, it's not safe. You aren't safe. Watch out for yourself, right? Keep your eyeballs open. Keep your head on a swivel, kings.
Because you never know. You never know who's gonna be a fucking freak.
They use it as a shield.
As a woke white guy, I also I think people should be aware, like should be concerned. Like you shouldn't trust me.
Yeah.
Like you know, frankly. Like I understand. Oh, what up, Soy Pill?
Well, speaking of woke
woke
feminist ally white guys,
feminist white guy.
Yeah,
ambushed.
Yeah.
Speaking of those,
hey, what's going on,
we're in
fellow white
danger.
knights? How's it?
We got white plates for
Here, you're a little low. Let me see if I can turn you up. No, you're up all the way. Can you turn yourself up a little bit? It's hard to hear you a little bit.
Wait, hold on. Maybe it's not my right mic. Okay, wait. How's this? If I talk really clearly.
It's still a little low. It still needs to be just
man, I don't know what's going on with it. I'll just be loud. Hi, I just came in because I heard you're going to disparage Hasan, and someone sent me this clip that really made me not like him. So I'll share it with you in private DMs. But I've had a bad family event today, so I just need to be mean to people. All right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
We just had
sorry.
We just had a Whick vindication segment where we went over how a old school Whick hater got arrested by Chris Hansen. And
oh yeah, I know you shared that with me.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
We found
did you
text.
Wait? But did you hate him because he was a predator, or you
I
just
didn't know he was?
you just hated him for some other reason?
He hated Whick first.
He
it sounds like he
called
hated
him
you
Nazi.
first, Whick. Is that?
Yeah, he called me a Nazi. Right? He said I was enabling Nazis. I was a danger to the community. And we found the police report, and we found the text messages that he sent the undercover cop that was soliciting a 15-year-old child for sex.
Jeez.
And we went over them live on stream because I'm a little petty.
Is that allowed?
It's a police report. I don't know why.
I guess so.
No.
I don't know. I just like anything pedo adjacent. I'm just like, maybe don't even show this. But wow, yeah, that's
wasn't pictures or anything, right?
Yeah,
like,
it was no
that.
pictures.
Gross.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Also,
wow.
the person was an adult, and there was no nude photos. Like they did, like
Right.
the age regression technology thing.
So I've been up since 4 a.m. So excuse my slow brain. I realized the undercover cop was not 15. Yeah. Okay. I'm on board. Got it.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
As far as you know. Yeah.
And Charlie here was just telling us about white woke allies, okay, and how they're always.
Well, I was saying, like, okay, it's always the people who go the hardest in activist spaces and in like safe spaces, the ones that are the most like police other people super duper hard. They always end up being creepy.
Yeah.
It's always the same at LARP. It's always the dudes who are like, no, I promise you, I'm such a safe guy. Like, I know this space is so white and straight, and, you know, you guys are just young gays and young ladies, and you're scared. You know, I get that, and I'm safe for you, I promise. And then they're like freaks, and you find out they've been like sexually harassing every woman there. Inevitably, every time, every fucking time.
The famous one is Joss Whedon, right? Like he's like this profoundly pro-feminist, like we need more women voices, and then he just turns out to be a total sex pest, like misogynist.
Neil
like
Gaiman too, right?
Neil Gaiman, yeah.
Neil Gaiman.
Like,
He was,
you guys fucking read that shit?
It was crazy.
Dude, he made her eat poop.
I didn't read that. Oh my god.
Jesus.
He made her eat
Did not know
poop.
that.
Can I say it? Actually, I don't know if I could say this on the internet.
Too late. It's gone. You said it, so I
Yeah,
think
well,
you
that's
can.
I'm sorry. Well,
That's
he
not that bad.
sodomized her without lubrication and then made her
Jeez.
clean off the.
That's so.
And he had
It
been
was so.
making.
He's the devil. He's the devil.
He made post after post after post about how women should be respected, and he's a solid Me Too defender and things like that. And like it's they always use it as a shield, as a disguise.
It's always them. Yes.
That's exactly why I don't respect women.
True.
Yeah, see, I make a lot.
That's
of
how
these
you know you're
arguments
safe, because I'm willing to
I
say that
respect-
women are the devil, okay, and you shouldn't respect them, right? They're there for certain
Yeah,
purposes. That's
we
it.
hate women.
Woo! Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
No
Squad
girls.
W, gang. That's right.
Bro.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't take my Adderall today, so if things just come out of my mouth, such as like poop eating, I'm so sorry. That will continue to happen.
It's not literally shit.
Yeah.
I've
yes.
been Adderall-less for 2 weeks, so I understand the feeling.
Ah, how?
Cooler, are you in between a
I-
dip bar?
I hate it.
Is that your setup?
What? Oh
Are you
yeah,
in
I am. Yeah.
Are you in between? Okay.
Yeah, I have like this whole it's a whole thing. Yeah.
You get enough donos and you have to do like 10 dips or something. Is that how it works?
That's the plan. I mean, I haven't got all that infrastructure set up yet, but yeah, that's part of it.
For sure.
For sure.
We have to get more acquainted.
Force me to
We're
get buff.
teaming up. We're
Yeah.
teaming up against Rachel Wilson and
That's
some
right.
other dumb bimbo on Memorial Day for the death
Yeah,
penalty.
well, and dumb bimbo named Marte who keeps donating to Sarah's panel to kick me off every time I'm on, but he won't be able to do that when we're absolutely destroying him. So it's
Hell yeah,
gonna be a rough time.
sounds fun.
I'll have to tune
did
in. I'll
a-
have to check it out.
Oh, please do. Yeah, no, I
Are
did
you
a
guys
5.5
pro or
hour.
against the death penalty?
I'm pro death penalty for people that suggest that illegal immigrants should go onto a reality TV game show to earn their citizenship, whoever wins. But for everyone else, I'm against it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. Kirsty
Wait, what is that a reference to?
It's a
I don't
Kirsty
know that
Noem.
reference.
This isn't a
Kirsty
joke.
Noem said that?
This isn't. Yeah, this isn't.
That's so crazy.
This wasn't
Okay.
like a meme or something. This isn't something he's making
Oh,
up.
no.
This is
I wish
something
I
that
was
he
making it up.
suggested.
Yeah.
That she suggested.
Okay,
Not
that's
he suggested. Sorry,
that sounds in character. Yeah, I agree. We're on the same. We're still on the same page then.
There's this semi-famous Korean show. It's called Squid Game, and I think the message of the show was we should do Squid Game. We should do a Squid Game. That sounds like fun.
That's what I got from it.
That's what Mr. Beast took from it, and he's the smartest, most richest man alive. So
Mm-hmm.
True. Okay. I think we've exhausted the pool of let's make fun of Wick's enemies who get caught by Chris Hansen doing sex pestery.
all one of them, I hope. Only.
One day, God
So
willing.
far.
Your lips to
Mhm.
God's ears. Let's talk about Hasan. Now, you said you had a clip that you didn't like. Do you mind sharing
So-
the clip? Like, you can click the share screen.
Oh,
and we
screen
can watch
sharing
it.
it.
Yeah.
could tell.
Well, let me just make sure there's nothing incriminating on the.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you share? No, you don't have YouTube Premium. You
I
cuck.
don't.
All right, 1 second.
Who doesn't
I
have
will
YouTube Premium?
switch.
Come on.
I don't know where
And,
Stardust is. Maybe she forgot.
I have
us.
an ad blocker. Why do you guys have
Fair
YouTube
enough.
Premium?
I like supporting
Because-
creators, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, that I like supporting
Oh.
creators, and some of us make enough money to afford it. Wick.
Wow. Well, you look.
I don't need
that's
more, by the
just-
way, which is why
That's
everyone
just
should
that's
go
on my
help out
audience. My
channel.
audience needs to give me more money. Okay.
It's one.
That's
I
fine.
one $100 donation is enough for a year, Wick, and I've seen it happen in real time.
That money goes to other things. But let's watch the stream. Let's see
All
what.
right, so hopefully I'm not mega doxing myself on this.
No, I don't see any mega doxing stuff. There's just a Hasan
Alright,
there.
so-
Okay.
So,
Watch the
so
Grok videos,
I was
I see.
complaining. I was complaining about Hasan being anti-electoral insofar as he likes to disparage voting, as if voting is not enough. And I agree, voting is not enough. You can't just vote. You need to organize. You need to protest. You need to spread the word. You can't just go to the ballot box and assume everything's going to get better. But the degree to which these kind of like anti-American people will disparage this, I think is really bad. And then this person in my audience said, I don't think he's as bad as you think he is. Here is a video of him. Saying that actually voting is important. I watched this 15-minute video of him disparaging all the people who say you should vote. And then at the very end, we get this a very rousing, important message from Hasan, where he clearly cares about Kamala beating Trump.
Don't offer any solutions though, man. Don't do. Just keep talking about how it's impossible for you to do anything.
Hello, editor person here. Part of me felt like this rant might leave people feeling hopeless, so I want to remind everyone of what Arjan has said. 1. It is still important to vote.
My dick gets hard when I vote, dude. Oh my god.
We are not advocating to give up on voting altogether, but it is valid to feel discouraged. And 2. The most important thing we can do is organize. Organize our workplaces and organize our community.
Yeah, so after all that big, like, 14-minute rant, his only solution is, the editor feels the need to jump in and actually remind everyone, oh, by the way, you should vote, because I clearly see that Hasan has not advocated for it very well at all here, and most people are going to take away that they shouldn't. And I think these people are just, like, demonstrably harmful to our cause, and it really pisses me off. Because they are, if Hasan was just, a 10-viewer Andy or whatever, but you're the biggest political streamer in the world, like, please, for the love of God, endorse the opposition to the man who's destroying my life. Anyway, rant over.
No, that's kind of a good intro to this portion of the segment. So recently, Hasan has he's been on a media blitz, and I'm not sure what Trump operative has infiltrated the booking agents of places like the New York Times and the Daily Show and etc. But they've been getting Hasan on for interviews, puff pieces, segments, and things like that. And I think it's worth discussing whether or not having Hasan be kind of the face of the left, or what was it the Daily Show segment called him, the progressive king of Twitter. Is this a positive development or a negative one?
Wait, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do people not get ad revenue if you have ad blockers on YouTube?
No, they don't.
They do not. You're stealing from
I'm
small creators like me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Enemy
homeless.
Charlie the
and
thief.
My dog's gonna die in the street.
I have been stealing
Taking
from
money
everyone on
from the
YouTube.
pockets of smaller creators. Wow.
Oh.
Money from the pockets of smaller creators.
Evil. All right. Anyway, Hasan. Do we think that the Dems lost because of people like Hasan saying they shouldn't vote?
Whick has an opinion about this.
I do. I want to hear. Before I go ranting on it, I want to hear everyone else's opinion.
No, absolutely not. I don't think that's the deciding factor. I think Hasan could not exist and it wouldn't have mattered. I just think it sucks that one of the biggest tools to invigorate young people is not invigorating young people to vote for, reasons that people may or may not agree with. If it's Israel-Palestine stuff, I think was the main reason. But come on, man. Like, all this other stuff is just going to be demonstrably shittier unless you at least push people to vote for the opposition. And he didn't do that, and that makes me angry.
What do you think, Radical?
Yeah, I mean, I share that sentiment. It's frustrating. He's got a huge platform. Obviously, the election was really close. Any push in the direction towards Donald Trump not being president would have been better. I also do have empathy for the kind of I remember there was a Demon Mama video actually. I remember her talking about kind of what will be perceived as like an anti-electoral take, right? But it was broadly about preparing, encouraging people to community organize and focus on preparing for what a second Trump term would be, because that was like a very real thing that was on the table. And I appreciated that sentiment. But I hate when that's packaged with people kind of downplaying the impacts of voting, because obviously, if more people voted for not Trump, then if more people voted for Kamala Harris, then she could have won the election, right? So, and it's not necessarily that Hasan or it's certainly not Demon Mama could have moved the needle on that, but it is frustrating nonetheless.
I'm going to disagree with the room here. I reject the opinion that Hasan didn't negatively impact this election, and that had he not been, and to be clear, Hasan's a stand-in for a whole host for a mindset, if you will. Hasan's just the largest of these people, right? But it's all a mindset. It's a segment of the left these people have hurt us in a couple ways. So first of all, the one you were talking about is they don't advocate to vote for Democrats. They don't like Democrats. They don't want Democrats in power. They want leftists in power. More accurately, they want leftists in power in small, localized areas that don't affect people outside of those areas. They want to be a big fish in a small pond, and the smaller the pond, the bigger the fish they can be, right? The bigger, more outsized influence they can have. And I do think that Trump winning benefits these people. It benefits Hasan. It benefits these people because they make more money. They're given more attention. They're propped up as the solution. Whereas had Harris won, they would have been ignored. And I long for the day.
I have to admit, I think my momentum is not at all, in no part, due to Trump winning, and that is the silver lining of his presidency. So you're not wrong, but I am happy that I'm blowing up because of it. But
so
yeah,
I feel I'm not. You have never been. You are not a Hasanite. Okay, you're not. You're not even near his style of things.
That's right.
Okay, you just aren't, and that's a compliment. That's why I like you.
I know.
Okay,
I'm just saying. I agree with your sentiment that I don't think he wants Trump to win, but it absolutely does benefit the. I don't know if it's like an accelerationist thing, but this idea of like, hey, it's easier to rally people who are angry. It is easier to rally people and offer, if you don't need a concrete solution when the enemy's in power. You don't need a way to push people, further to the left, because they'll never agree with you. So you can just kind of cry into the ether. And a lot of my content right now is a little bit crying into the ether, and it plays well with people. It's easier to be angry than it is to fix things. So,
I agree, but I also feel like, okay, so by the way, I live in California. And like a couple of weeks before we were due to vote, I moved from Oregon to California, and I forgot to register. So technically, I did not vote in this election, not because of politics.
Shame.
I know. Listen, I moved to a different state. I went through a breakup. I was not thinking about the election. I was miserable, so I didn't vote. So I am one of those evil people.
You're selfish. Yeah.
I'm so selfish. I'm evil. California was still blue, however, so I think we're fine. But also, I feel like, how do we push the Dems to do what the people want? Because I do get the frustration with the sense that they are a bit useless and don't really follow up on their promises. So how do we get politicians to do what we want if we just continue to vote for them? Because it seems like calling didn't do much. Can't bother them.
Well, it's a mix, right? Like the idea that people say like, oh, primary these people, I think that's very important. But the problem is the time for like, hey, let's hold Dems to account is not the general election where the opposite, party is, hey, let's make everyone's life demonstrably shittier. It's, hey, let's do it in the primary. Well, to be fair, there was no primary for the Democrats in this election. But, it's for these other races, for Senate, for House, like this is when you're like, hey, this person has a bad record. This is where I want to get progressives in. That's where you fight those fights. And it's not in the general election. Like there's a reason why Trump in 2016 was kowtowing to the Bernie voters who feel like they got screwed and says, look, like, I'll accept you. Like, I know Hillary Clinton's corrupt and evil. You think that too. Come vote for me. It's because that kind of narrative, the same narrative that Hasan does push, it does hurt Dems more than it. Well, I mean, I was going to say more than hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. It helps the Trump side. It helps the right wing. So I think it's just there's a time and a place, and I think that was not the time and the place.
Okay.
Do you so first of all, we all recognize that this election was close, correct?
Yeah.
It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah,
I know Trump
definitely.
and the MAGA people are like, it's a blowout. We've got a mandate. It was 2%.
Yeah, my ass.
2% in 3 states, and I think Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. If 2% in those 3 states, so maybe 60,000 people total. Maybe 60,000 people total. Maybe 100,000, right? But very, 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 very small amount of people.
Michigan, I think we can't blame on people who were. Michigan is, I think, the biggest concentration of Arab Americans. They were never, ever, ever, ever going to vote for Kamala. with her stances on Israel-Palestine. That wasn't going to happen. That was fully the Dems' fault.
What?
And I don't blame them.
Hold on. Do you think that the state in Israel-Palestine is better under Trump?
No, it's not. But I think it's hard to. I think it's worse, actually. But again, I think it's hard to ask people to like. It's very hard to convince them. Like, hey, yeah, we are, paying for your people to be killed now, and we'll keep doing that. But maybe the other guy will kill them harder. So I don't know. You want to vote for me, the one who's funding the murder of you and yours? Like, like it is kind of. It's difficult to ask. It's a difficult ask.
Yeah, I agree.
And
the fact that there was no Palestinian sympathetic voices at the DNC, let alone any like actual Palestinian Americans, was. I mean, it made it harder because I have friends in like the Arab community who I was arguing with constantly about this stuff, and like those were like the lines where like it was really hard to convince that like someone like the Democrats were actually better, and mostly because of what you were just described, right? It's like well, they're both gonna do it. That it's both still happening, so it's very hard to like bridge that gap. I don't know, and Democrats, I felt like as someone who was advocating for people very strongly for people to vote for Kamala, I found it difficult to argue that position with people who were already disillusioned,
And they sent Liz Cheney. They sent Liz Cheney to talk to them in Michigan. like daughter of the dude who made big money off of, again, the slaughter of their people. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, like that's insane. It was almost like an insult. I feel like that's insulting. That's like a big fuck you. We hate you. Again, so that was, honestly, I do feel like the Dems failed the American people, and not just for progressive reasons. I think that, again, not having a primary, and then the just kind of whatever blahness of Kamala's campaign. It took a while for us to get any actual policies out of her, which I think was rough.
Well, look, all of it was kind of a shit show. I do want to push back that there was no pro-Palestinian or Palestinian sympathetic voices in the Democratic Party at leadership positions. AOC obviously had some influence within the campaign, and she's pretty sympathetic, right, towards Palestine. You can't
vocally
call her
maybe, but like materially, like what actually happened? Like if your family is getting killed, like and she says we're working tirelessly for a ceasefire, it's like, well, cool, but it doesn't happen. It really doesn't mean much, no matter how much. Like I think when they say a pro-Palestinian voice, it's like drawing insane attention to this conflict at the DNC, showing people, hey, this is a huge constituency, cares about this, is being harmed by this, and you need to address this much more than, hey, Netanyahu, stop, and then do nothing, right? Like that's not enough.
The problem is,
just to be clear, my specific criticism was about the DNC, like specifically like that.
Fair enough.
That's what I was talking about there in particular. Yeah.
The problem though, is the pro-Palestinian, the ones that I can think of that are kind of like the faces of the pro-Palestinian movement, unfortunately, at least in these spaces, are Hasan. And he carries with him baggage that isn't just pro-Palestine, it's pro-Houthi. It's pro, like,
Hezbollah,
pro really bad people, pro-Hamas, which is a fundamentally different thing. And so when we want like the rock in the hard place, I think the Democrats find themselves in is the country just is pretty pro-Israel. It just is, or at least it's like soft pro-Israel.
I think it depends on the age. I think young people, not so much. It seems like overall left and right don't. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they don't vote.
Reasons, very different reasons.
Why would they pay attention to a group that does not vote? What are they going to get out of it, right? Like, if Why would look? I'll put it in terms that the gentleman in my audience can understand. Okay, if you have a woman that you know is never going to get with you, never going to give you the time of day, like never going to go on dates, never going to be in a relationship with
This is
you.
a true story.
Why would you
Whick.
spend their money on them? Why would you take them on dates? Why would you do any of that? Right? Find someone who's interested in you. Okay, who you have a chance with. Then you can spend your money, spend your time, spend your effort, and things like that. People like Hasan.
I like this analogy, Wick, because the Democrats do like fucking the voters a lot.
Oh, they love
Yeah.
it.
They love it.
Okay, and the voters love
Yep.
it too. Okay, democracy is the belief that the people know what they want, they deserve to get it, good and hard. But right, the problem here is that who will actually show up to the ballot box isn't the Hasan voters. They're just not going to. So promoting Hasan and promoting.
If he has an audience of millions of people, a significant portion of those people are absolutely people that may or may not have voted or may or may not have sat out, which I think is what you were saying.
Well,
earlier,
no,
you're like, hey,
no,
some degree of them.
My criticism, just to correct you, my criticism of Hasan isn't that he didn't tell his people to vote. I mean, that is part of it. My criticism of Hasan and making him the reason why I don't like that people are making him kind of like the face of the young men in the of the left and things like that is because I believe that he turns off voters, right? He turns off people. All they have to do is play the clip of him calling Israeli babies settler babies, right? Right? And that the whole conversation where they were legitimate war targets, and then everyone's like, wow, this guy's a piece of shit. And it's just any good he might do is buried under the rank, and I'll just say it, I feel anti-Semitism that he allows in his chat, that he allows in his community, that he flirts with and that he plays with. That's my opinion. But Stardust, welcome to the show.
Hi, how's it going? I
Good
feel
to
like
see
I
you,
came in a time where I feel like I have very strong opinions on certain things here. So I don't disagree that the Democratic Party, there are things that need to be improved. I think one of the great parts and probably one of the drawbacks of the Democrats is that there's such a variety of like theories and thoughts of like how to do things, and they're constantly infighting. But as far as like the Palestine stuff and how that affected voting, I'm not really sure what the solution is there, right? Because while I'm on the side of like I agree, it's hard for a lot of people who have a personal connection to the Israel-Palestine conflict to vote for the lesser of two evils. First off, like the Biden presidency might be the first presidency and the only presidency to have given the amount of money to Palestine, in comparison to like any other, right? So I do have to give them credit there. I don't think you can look at any other president who, during a conflict especially, would have given aid, right? Now, was it enough aid? I don't think so. Was it, is the humanitarian issues, the blockade on food and supplies going into Gaza, is that an issue? Obviously, there's like an impending crisis there, if not already happening. But you're choosing between somebody who is posting memes about like having like belly dancers and having a fucking Trump Tower there versus people who are, I think, in a understandably difficult situation when dealing with that conflict. I'm not really sure what the solution is there. It seems like it's like a no-win situation. I guess the second thing I'd say in regards to Hasan and his audience and voting and all of that, I don't know how likely, maybe, I'm sure one of Hasan's great things is that he pulls a lot of like normal people, right? But the bad thing is that he has openly talked about, he goes on to like the Deprogram podcast. He's openly talked about hiding his power level from people. He's like very much like an authoritarian communist, right? Like that's his actual views on things. He will kind of like downplay how extreme he is But like he's basically in tanky territory at this point, and he engages in historical revisionism. All of these things. So yes, he could have a positive influence on getting people out to vote. But there's also going to be a large section of his audience that will never vote. And I don't know in what world we could ever convince him to advocate for his viewers to vote. I think my biggest issue with him is I don't even know if he had that much impact on the election in period, right? I don't know that Hasan did. My biggest issue with Hasan is his effect on the culture. I have a huge issue with his effect on the culture. Like,
And I think that impacts it, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that his viewers really like if you're already in the Hasan camp, they're already kind of like, oh, what's the point of voting for these people? Blah blah blah. You know, you're funneling people to people like serial harassers and doxers like Bad Empanada. You're funneling people to like people who are like anti-electoralism. If you're Hasan, so like. Really, I don't know how much they would have affected the election. But I do think that he affects the culture. And I am very concerned about the culture. I don't want to be in a culture where we've got the same people who were yelling about dog whistles like 2 years ago who don't understand how simultaneously having a swastika on a sword, even if you claim that it's a symbol, the manji, the Buddhist symbol, the swastika from Hindu culture, it's still a call to swastika, and you're still positioning it in a way. It's part of a video that is directed towards a Jewish creator. You're all collectively saying that he's hallucinating the anti-Semitism that he's experiencing. You also had 10 other sources to choose from, and also, when you're confronted about it, you say that. Like, there's no way that this could have looked weird to anybody. That's the most damning part, is that it's not that all of these, you've got like all these different things coming together that this is very clearly, okay, maybe he didn't intend for it to be a dog whistle. But can you at least acknowledge how it would look really fucking weird to somebody who's Jewish?
Can I share my thoughts on that?
Go, please.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know too much about Hasan, and I don't really care about him a lot. But a lot of my viewers are big Hasan fans. And I thought that the swastika, yeah, they're very upset. Which is why I did this on Kick. 'Cause on Twitch, it would be like, cancel Enemy Charlie. It's over. The swastika sword, absolutely agree that it was anti-Semitic, and I think that it was done intentionally to make Ethan Klein look insane. Because there's no fucking way in the world no one looks at that and doesn't see a fucking swastika.
I'm sorry, you don't have all those different things coming together.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, but okay, even if I'm being generous,
he also
let's say
doesn't
it
watch
happens.
Bleach,
It
right,
happens.
Star?
I've accidentally done things where people are like, "Oh, that looks weird." What the normal person thing to do is be like, "Oh, my bad. I see how that could have been misinterpreted that way. That wasn't my intention." Right? But the fact that he won't even acknowledge even that, won't even say that much, right? Makes it look even more suspicious. No, you're hallucinating. You're hallucinating that this looks weird. So
I was actually say, though, like the damning...
soy then radical. Go ahead.
Right, like the damning thing for me, because I was like, okay, like maybe that's a coincidence. As someone who grew up reading like Naruto or One Piece, and like swastikas show up fairly frequently in those because it is a symbol in that culture, and they have to replace them in the American drawings or redrawings or whatever. The damning thing was, it's like, okay, maybe he really likes Bleach because this is the Bleach's main character's sword, but then there's the video of him purchasing it, and he's like, oh, this is this guy's sword. And he's like, who's that? Oh, I don't know. I don't watch Bleach. And this is like months before he did this. So it's like, oh, you bought this because it has a swastika on it. They also
called it the swastika sword. They also called it the swastika sword.
And they call it the swastika sword. So that was like, all right.
They called it the swastika sword. Hold on, I need to yell at
in the video where he's buying it? Is that true? That's crazy.
I'm sorry. I know that I'm pissing off Charlie's chat. I apologize.
No.
Oh, I don't fucking listen. I yell at my chat all the time. I verbally assault them constantly. Keep going, please.
Chatters are lessers and deserve to be abused. Correct.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
Correct.
Well, I was going to say one quick thing about. I agree. Like the sword. It seems like they were like gaslighting Ethan, like and trolling him. But I think also I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought there. I'll let Star go. I'll come back to it if it pops
Wow.
up.
Well, I want
I
to
don't
say
have
something,
any
and then we can
train of
let
thought.
Star
I know.
go. Okay.
I
I
know.
want to say a little bit, right? This idea that the effect on the culture, I think, is a good angle. I think that I think is important. There are a lot of very right-wing influencers, Tim Pool being one of them. There's a few others who point to Hasan and they say, "This is the left. This is the Democrats. This is what they are. This is who they are." I'll give you my opinion here. If Kamala Harris, had gone on to Hasan's show, okay, went on Hasan's show for an interview, and Hasan would have let her, obviously, that he would have loved and jumped at the chance. So walk with me here. Hasan goes on, or not Hasan. Kamala Harris goes on to Hasan's show, and Kamala Harris talks with him a little bit, and then at a certain point says, "Hey, I've seen some of the stuff you've said. The promotion of Houthi terrorists, the promotion of Hezbollah, some of the anti-Semitic stuff that you've been around and you associate with. We want nothing to do with you. You're no longer a part of our party. We don't want you here. We don't want anything to do with you." 400 electoral votes, easy. What Harris needed, was a Sister Soldier moment, a point where she can denounce the extremists on her side. And if she had done that, I think it would have swayed enough, right? That I think it flips Pennsylvania. I think it flips Wisconsin. I don't know about Michigan, but maybe, right? Like, I think it flips at least 2. And I think then we have a much better chance and in a much better position, and people will just respect her more. One of the problems a lot of the people had, a lot of the reasons a lot of people sat home is because they saw her as extreme and Trump as extreme, and they didn't want to vote for extremists at all. So that's my thoughts. $10 from Alexander Wynn. Then I'm going to let Star here go. Says, re-hallucinating. This is a perfect time to use the word gaslighting. Also, cultural effects have huge impacts on elections. Hasan's chatters didn't vote, but the people they interact with do. True. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know that I have much to say here. I just think that I don't want to be around. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sympathetic. Like, my family's Muslim, all of that, right? But like, and I grew up like America post 9/11. But like, this man, Hasan, is straight up, saying that Nasrallah is like a super educated guy, claiming that Nasrallah is less anti-Semitic than Ethan Klein, saying things like, that he's okay with what the Houthis are doing. That is like from such a place of privilege that I personally would never, and nobody that I know would ever even think of saying those things or thinking those things, right? Anybody who grew up here, who grew up with like the effects of what it was like to live post 9/11, and he remembered what it was like pre 9/11. It's not just like, it wasn't just traumatizing because of like the obvious, like, the racism and bigotry and all of that, right? It wasn't just that, right? Obviously the biggest part of it is like your country was attacked, right? Your people were attacked. Why would this person, why are we doing apologia for, why are his orbiters doing apologia for Osama bin Laden? What's going on here? Nobody in that I know in my personal life would ever even think of that, and then for him to just like get away with it too, it's just wild to me. I don't know. It's that's just my thoughts. So.
I have a question that I haven't posited this, and I don't want to relitigate because I already disagree with Whick about whether or not that would have changed the outcome. Whatever, doesn't matter. It already happened. What happened happened. Let's focus on the future. Do you think that people like us who are right of Hasan, that sounds weird, less left than Hasan,
less extreme than Hasan,
could influence him to be a force for good rather than just disparage him for no reason, and rather say, hey, like, to what influence could people in this space push him to endorse a candidate and actually get him to help out in the next 2 years?
Can you walk me through how that would work? How you feel like that we could be a positive influence on Hasan to turn him to good or whatever?
Have you ever heard of a honeypot?
I know what a
Well-
honeypot is.
What?
We went over a honeypot with when we covered the
I
Aston
don't
Mack
like where
stuff.
this is going.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
like where this
This
is
was
going.
look.
I'm sorry.
I've been awake since 4 a.m. This was a spur of the moment thought. This was not a planned out Machiavellian. How do I trick Hasan into being electoral? This was more of a because he is much closer to us than you know anyone on the Trump side who I make half of my career attempting to convince. Is it not possible or probable that we can convince people in this space to say, look, please, for the love of God, look at the outcomes of these elections. Who gets hurt when this person wins? For this time, let's find a way to push these people to where we want them to be, but please vote for them. Do you think that's possible?
What? Okay, so can
I
I?
think it's possible. Oh, no, go ahead, Charlie.
I don't. I just wanted some clarification on what Star was saying. Again, I don't actually know much about Hasan, and I don't really watch his stuff. I thought that interviewing the guy who was a Houthi was ballsy for sure. But from what I had heard and seen, it was more like an attempt to, like a lot of terrorist groups in the Middle East, are a direct reaction to like U.S. aggression or U.S. like meddling and funding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is he attempting to raise awareness about that?
I don't
Because I
know.
feel like it's. I
So
don't
I
know.
personally, I don't have a problem with him interviewing the Houthi kid, right? And he might claim that it's like, this is a direct result of like imperialism and all of that, and direct result of like the oppression that they face. But I don't have a problem with him interviewing the kid. I think I have more of a problem with him like comparing him to like the anime character and actively promoting like actively saying things like that Nasrallah or like that what the Houthis are doing even with the taking these hostages who are completely unrelated to Israel Palestine, saying that that's like okay with him. Like I have an issue with that. Yes, it's true that like a lot of extremism and terrorism is a result of material circumstances, but like also there are people who've been through worse in history who haven't done things like kidnapping the crew of a ship that is completely unrelated to the Israel-Palestine conflict. There are people who've been through worse in history, more oppressed and more brutalized, and still haven't like turned to extremism.
I will give.
So like,
Okay,
it's
I
understandable.
really want to say, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
let her finish.
understandable, but it's
Yeah.
understandable. But I find the saying that these things are okay is an issue for me. Like you can say that things are understandable without like justifying it or being okay with it,
Yeah, I want to jump in here because I want to piggyback off what Star just said, and I know Radical wants to go, so I'm going to piggyback off of what Star just said. I do want to answer to Soypill's question here, but to piggyback on what Star said, like if I'm okay with interviewing even Nazis, right? Even really bad people. If a serial killer, if someone had killed 27 babies, I don't think it's wrong to interview them, to platform them, to talk to them, to understand them, right? That's fine, right? But that's not what he was doing. He was promoting this behavior. And remember, the Houthis used child soldiers. They brought back slavery to the country. At what point, like, resisting oppression or imperialism, okay, but you don't have, if you are at the point where you have to rape people to resist your oppression, then you don't deserve to get rid of your oppression. You deserve to be oppressed. I'm sorry. I'm gonna break that brave
I agree
state.
with that, but
Well, I don't know if who was using.
Hold on. At what
rape
point would
as
you
a
rape people to
systematic
resist
tactic?
oppression?
Well, I would never
Well, I
rape
don't think-
anyone ever, but like,
Exactly.
what is rape who is using rape as a resistance tactic?
Yeah, I don't think it was Hasan saying like that has Hasan said that he endorses rape as a tactic?
he said, I
so
don't
I
know
wanted
that
to bring.
he's endorsed that. Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think
Yeah,
he.
I don't
I
think-
watched.
I
I
don't think he
watched the
would.
clarification. Even post a thing where he was saying like, "Oh, there was no evidence." He was like, one of my viewers encouraged me to watch him talk about it the next day, and he said I handled that really, really poorly, and I want to make it clear that I do not endorse rape, and I condemn rapes that
There's a
Hamas.
clip of him
wait,
saying,
wait,
hold
wait,
on, there's a
wait,
clip
wait,
of him
wait,
saying
wait,
that
wait,
rich
wait.
college girls, right? Rich white college, does any, hold on, I know people in my chat haven't. Send me the clip of what he said about those, what should happen to those rich white college girls.
Wick,
Okay?
even if he was like, I love rape, it's the best thing ever, clip that. Like, would you not say that that's collective punishment? If yeah, if it was the official policy of Hamas, like, we must do this, I maybe would feel a little differently. But if some people in this group are doing this in their fight for freedom,
I'm not
and you're
talking
like, you know
about
what, this
Israel
group
here.
doesn't deserve
I'm
freedom
talking
because
about
of these
freedom
groups.
fighters,
You're
but-
talking about the
Like-
Houthis, right?
Yeah, I'm not, well, even then, I'm talking about Hasan and promoting that behavior. Right? You can
I don't know
condemn
that I
both
would.
groups.
So
You
I
can.
wouldn't
Hold
call
on,
Hamas
wait.
freedom fighters.
Can I call out
wait.
Wick? I need to push back on Wick. Sorry, I didn't want to get contentious, but I'm tired, and I do remember you saying
You want to fight with him? Go ahead.
if
Fight.
you do rape, you don't. You deserve the oppression that you have.
Yes.
Is that not what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so do you collectively punish the whole group
No.
for the? Okay, good, because then you're not saying
I'm not saying the
everyone
Palestinians deserve oppression because
Okay.
Hamas raped.
Just
I'm
checking.
saying
All
the
right.
people
And
who
you're not saying that the
Hamas
Houthi-
who
you're not-
rapes deserves to be wiped out of existence. Hamas, not
Okay.
Palestine.
And you're not
They're
saying,
not
like,
the same.
Houthi
We
kid
agree
in
we don't
particular.
like
Well, then the
rapists. I think
IDF
we
would as
can
well.
middle ground this.
The IDF would as
The
well
people-
because
yeah,
there
the
is
difference
evidence
here-
of like systematic rape
Sure.
in Israeli prisons, like against
The
Palestinians.
IDF are
So
not the good guys.
then the IDF would have to be
The
by
IDF
that
prosecutes
logic.
their rapists.
Every IDF.
The IDF prosecutes their rapists.
I mean, they try to,
Hamas don't.
but
That's the difference.
I'm not
I mean-
excusing IDF rapes.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing, but I also am not saying that Hasan is okay with rapes either. I just think that I think his characterization of a lot of what he calls resistance groups is inaccurate, especially knowing that. Even prior to October 7th, the summer, I think prior to that, you had people in Gaza, citizens in Gaza who were protesting Hamas's rule. They haven't had an election in 20 years. And they run that place very much like how Iran runs their country, right? Like dissent is not tolerated. So I don't like his characterization of these groups, and I don't like his apologia that he does for these groups. I think that you can be understanding for these circumstances that radicalize people and turn them into extremists without justifying it. So
Yeah, and remember, Hamas tortures people who protest against them. Like, they torture and execute them, right? Like, again, there's no good guys over there. And that's all I'm saying is there's no good guys over there. And pretending one side is the good guy and fighting the good fight is just not true. It's all crazy bad.
I mean,
But-
it's all shitty, but I think also, there's something to be said that this all
At least
was born
Patrick-
out of a very shitty situation to begin with, right? And so
Uh-huh.
it's going to be a very complicated and painful process to resolve.
Okay, I found the clip.
So
Hold on, give me a second.
Well, before you play that, I just want to say one quick thing because I
ahead.
had a recent conversation about this topic in particular with a friend of many streams here, Tom Foolery, and we were talking about like when it came to the I called him the Houthi kid. I feel weird about saying calling him the Houthi kid. Like,
I did too. So that
after
makes
that
me feel bad.
conversation.
But I don't know his name.
Tim Houthi Charlotte.
No, it's fine. Yeah, exactly. Timothy. Yeah, that one. But like, I somebody left a comment on my upload of that and like pointed out that because I also like I kind of made fun of Hasan in that when I was having that conversation, I kind of made fun of Hasan for like talking to him about SpongeBob and One Piece and all this stuff, and then someone pointed out that like, well, I mean, this is like a really young person, and like what Hasan's doing in this interview is like humanizing this guy. Like we are like he in a way that this is someone who doesn't really get humanized in American media very often. And I think there is something like really valuable to that Hasan brings to the table, and to bring it back to like his audience, the people he speaks to, the people who are like sympathetic to that, the people who are drawn to that kind of narrativization, those people are very reachable, and that's why I see something like I feel very frustrated when there's a quickness to like disavow Hasan and people in his orbit as like anti-Semites in the same way that like I mean Star, you and I, we met fighting Nazis on panels. Like we've all, and I see just such a difference in kind in like what's going on in like the driving force of these people, and that's kind of sorry, I wanted to get all that out.
There's
before
a difference in driving
I'll shut up
force.
for a bit, but
Sure, there's a difference in driving force, but that doesn't mean that like left wing and right wing anti-Semitism is still very different, right? They're not going to be the same. The way that they function is different. The way that they come about is different. But like, you can still look at similarities, right? Similarities in that like people feel like they're not doing anything wrong because these people are they view like the Jewish people that they're discriminating against, or they're making jokes about or whatever. They view them as like, oh, they're privileged, why should we care, right? We're the ones being oppressed. That's exactly how Nazis view it. They view that they're being oppressed. They're the ones who are on the
whites
receiving
are
end
under
of all-
attack by the
they're
evil browns. Okay.
So yes, like there are some differences in both, but like it's still important to address it and to tackle it. And I just find, like, again, I'm totally willing to talk with these people and try to make them see where like this is blatantly there's an issue here, but like these are not people who want to be talked to. Like,
But
we've seen it. Like even being asked, like, "Hey, don't you think that this at least looks weird to Jewish people?" They won't even acknowledge that much, right?
Let's watch the clip. Are you guys all on? Because I think it's important to show. This is Hasan. I hope they gave me the right clip. We're gonna find out. You guys ready?
At least Patrick Henry College is like doing one good thing, which is that like, if you have these fucking millionaire, billionaire, WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other billionaire, millionaire fail daughters is like, in some respects, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like taking these guys and putting them in a pen with one another is ultimately getting them away from the broader society.
Wait, that's not pro-rape. That's a tongue-in-cheek joke about, well, at least it's happening to shitty rich people instead of poor people.
Do you think he's joking?
It is okay. I will say,
laughed.
and this is something that, like, I'm sure he's joking, but this is something that I think he needs to be really careful about, because unfortunately, across the political spectrum, I have found that men, left, right, apolitical, do often believe that some women deserve to be raped. Whether they're ideological enemies.
Believed, at least, right?
Yes, precisely. And so he needs to be careful about that, because I have absolutely encountered leftist men who, really are like, it's okay if certain women are raped, and they might even deserve it, because I don't like them personally.
I would characterize it as like, I don't know. So a lot of men, I think that that not necessarily that women deserve to be raped, but some women are less deserving of believability than others, right? At the very least, right? Like some women, and I think this is across I agree with you, it's across the political aisle. Men in general are just like the same.
Yeah,
I hate this thing.
It's I try to stay away from not all men too, or all men. I try to stay away from that generally, but this is unfortunately like a
and it's like
a thing.
So like, I think that obviously Hasan was joking there, but it doesn't help that like this is his same orbit, like are people who are like making accusations of other people, any association with other people, you're automatically like tainted and evil, and you're obviously just as much of a pervert as everybody else you've ever talked to, right?
Okay,
I think there's a hypocrisy there, and so you can't, like, it's fine if he wants to be edgy, but you can't then be edgy like this and then go characterizing the people the way that he does. Like, he's accusing Asmongold of like having a loli folder. I don't particularly like Asmongold's political views either, but I don't have any reason to believe that he has a loli folder,
I think this is
I don't have any reason to believe he
problem. The problem you guys are running into with the it's just a joke is because there are people who kind of make edgy jokes out there, but Hasan has a pattern. And his audience has a pattern of behavior. he does not view, like, again, he went on these podcasts right after October 7th talking about settler babies, how there are groups of people who are legitimate targets that are babies, children, women, right? Not combatants.
Well, I disagree with his characterization of like sexual violence on October 7th, right? That's something that's hugely problematic to me.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
saying you're here to
so.
defend everything Hasan ever said, but I'm saying, like, calling this a joke, I think it's a shield he hides behind, and he actually does believe that there are groups, as Charlie was saying, that certain groups just, it's okay to do bad things to them. And
Well, I
think
can't
that
speak
he's
to
not
what he
joking.
personally believes, but I think he needs to be careful about those jokes because I think that dumbasses will take those things very seriously.
I just think
it's
he
a thing
can't.
where.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just think he can't. You can't be making these jokes and then simultaneously accusing other people of like being horrible degenerates behind the scenes. So yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Obviously, he can. He's doing it, right? Like, that's the thing.
Well, he was also friends with Asmongold for quite some time, and a lot of other like OTK people that I have heard from direct sources say and do some really, really, really bad things behind closed doors. So, it's not as if he was hanging out with the purest
You want to
people.
drop some bombs?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Nope.
Fair enough.
I cannot.
Nope. All good.
I could maybe DM. We could talk
later.
in DMs,
Later, we'll talk
maybe.
privately off stream. Okay, I'm very curious. But for now,
Hasan Piker beat me up for asking him on a date. Actually, that's a true story.
I saw it.
But people
and Radical
like,
Cooler was there.
I think someone said something in the super chat earlier that I think is bear repeating. Like, his audience may not vote, and he may not vote, right? But the people who see him and interact with his audience and interact with the people who see his stuff all do. And Hasan is he's a useful idiot for the right. He's a useful tool for them. He is good propaganda for people to say, well, the left is more anti-Semitic than us because, look, you got leftists like Hasan saying, and then they play the clips, right? You got leftists like Hasan thinking it's okay to, and they play that clip, like joking about raping white women.
If I can just say also the difference between Hasan and a lot of these right-wingers who are also genuinely anti-Semitic, right, is that if you had like right-wingers saying some of the stuff that Hasan says, I feel like they would be off the platform immediately, right?
Well, there's definitely a bias. I mean, don't the Twitch mods literally like wish him happy birthday, or the Twitch like staff wish him happy birthday? Like they're friends, right? Like there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't look good, and then it's like, oh yeah, well you guys get to be whatever, and it's like, I swear to God, Hasan is not a liberal. Like, please, like people need to stop calling him a liberal. But yeah.
Yeah, though that's the other thing. To your point, it's like, oh, he doesn't radicalize. Sorry, Radical, real quick. He doesn't radicalize so many people. These people wouldn't vote. But now that he is in these spaces, now that he is in New York Times articles, now that he is on The Daily Show, these are the normie lib voters who are going to watch him. They might, on these shows, go watch his show, and then maybe stop voting because of that, because of like his, anti-electoral takes. And I think that's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Radical. You want to jump in?
Yeah, I lose my train of thought so quick. Now I told you earlier, like I've been off Adderall for 2 weeks, so I'm a little spacey.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's this.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh wow, we're here. It's this again. Messaging control is important. Genuineness is important, and you're exactly right. The more mainstream coverage Hasan gets, the more he is pushed as the progressive or the liberal king of Twitch, right? The more he's made out and again, major publications such as New York Times to be representative of my beliefs, even though he is antithetical to a lot of what I actually believe. He has said his stated goal is to radicalize people, to hide his power level so that people think he's a normal, just a guy, right? And then to turn them into extreme anti-capitalist, communist, socialist, whatever, right? Not Democrats. And I think that that's incredibly dangerous to let someone in like that. Testy Johnson, thank you for the gift sub to Hasan. I appreciate you for giving him.
Finish the sentence, Joyce. That really threw me off.
So one of the things I was going to say
ahead.
is that people like Tim Pool and a lot of these like right-wing influencers, I mean, you look at anything from Tim Pool to Libs of TikTok, all these kinds of things, like these kinds of people, they are going to, even if Hasan didn't make off-colored jokes or didn't have bad beliefs, they would still be representing the left as if they were doing those things. Like they would still be characterizing us that way. Just for one, I mean, it's sure we could say that. I guess in the reason I push back in that particular way is I feel like I've had that same like that same framing of like, oh, the right wing people are using this like in conversations about like even like non-binary people, like, oh, the trans people are binary trans people are being victimized because non-binary people are radicalizing the right against them more, and they're using them as like the representative. Like I just remember that being a talking point as well. So that's kind of something I don't want to understate like how bad faith like someone like Tim Pool is, like how comfortable they are with just fucking lying about like what people's beliefs are, and like you know, and misrepresenting things.
Kamala Harris a communist. Like they'll call like proud neo-libs communists, which is it's just hard exactly. So that like
which is to my
well,
greater point.
I do have to say though, I do have to say though, like yes, Tim Pool is very disingenuous and all that, but like the amount of character assassination I've seen even Hasan engaged in of people that I know is kind of wild. But yeah, I mean it's a different thing, right? So yeah.
And before I hear you, Soy, right? And I hear you guys. I understand that the bad guys, right, quote unquote, the people who want to paint the libs as terrible are always going to do this nut picking, right? Where they pick the nuts and they showcase the nuts and say these are their big guys, these are their beliefs, and they're going to distort, they're going to lie, they're going to misrepresent. I understand all that and I accept all that, and yeah, you're just correct. But it's easier for them to do when you have people like Hasan. It's harder for them to do when you have people like, I'll use Soy Pill as an example. Right? If Soy Pill got as big as Hasan, you know, my lips to God ears, hopefully one day you will be, right? And I can ride your coattails and you can, you know, pay all my bills. But if he does, it's going to be much harder for them to paint Soy Pill as an extremist, violent extremist, than it is to paint Hasan as a violent extremist. It just is, because Soy Pill, at least that I'm aware of. Maybe there's going to be some clips coming out that I don't know of, right? Hopefully not, right? But like, he doesn't advocate for violence. He doesn't advocate for these things. He doesn't promote terrorists, right? You understand, like, how it's harder.
It depends on what you thought about my Luigi debate, Whick. I mean,
look, that wasn't your finest hour. I still very much disagree with you on that, and I think a lot of people who have been pushing like the Luigi
debate
thing.
I want to know that.
That was my first Whick debate with Destiny and Big Papa, and you know what the ethics and the degree to which the Luigi Mangione situation was quote unquote
I got
justified.
so excited. I thought you guys were going to be talking about Luigi, like the character from
what's
Mario.
the debate?
Like Luigi's Mansion.
Should he be orange?
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, or Waluigi, like Waluigi, the
Wario
sexiest
fan.
character from the Mario franchise.
Star, give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
I think Waluigi really got shafted.
I got
Waluigi really
the
not
luckily
being
there's a little
Smash,
bit of
you
a
know?
6-second delay on my stream, so if he comes back with something terrible, I can stop the stream and cut it out, but we'll find out. We're all on the edge of our seats. Here he is.
All right. My brother made me this for my birthday, and I just thought you might appreciate that.
Oh my god, that's so amazing! Wow,
He is the
your brother's
sexiest
so
character.
talented.
Yeah, no,
He is.
He's an artist, so.
They literally made that all the creation of Waluigi was literally just fan service. That's all it was. So,
It is.
I sometimes I reply to MTG tweets with pregnant Waluigi porn. It's pretty fun.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so
awesome.
good.
Yeah, that's a big that's Praxis.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all. We're kind of winding down. Is there anything else that you think is happening right now within the kind of culture, within the context that we should be talking about that we are not? Something.
Well, one of
that's-
the topics that we haven't gotten to that it was on the agenda, I think, was the seashell thing. And I kind of had a take about this, like Comey's seashell. Did we go into that very deeply? I don't think we did.
Let me remind the audience what that is.
Yeah,
right?
please. Yeah.
Okay. So let me get. I think I got a picture here. 1 moment, please. So here's a tweet from Kash Patel. Share my screen. Because Comey made
Author of Plot Against the King.
Comey made an Instagram post, and on the Instagram post, does anyone have that Instagram post? I know he deleted it, right? But if you have it, please send it to me. But basically,
what a coward, really.
It was he shouldn't have deleted it. He should have kept it on. But that's a different thing. It was sand, and it was the seashells, and it was arranged to say 8647. Everyone on the right lost their goddamn minds. Said that it was calling for the assassination of President Trump. Okay, you had Kash Patel say, "We are aware of the recent social media posts by former FBI Director James Comey directed at President Trump. We are in communication with the Secret Service and Director Curran. Primary jurisdiction is with Secret Service on these matters, and we, the FBI, will provide all necessary support." We had tweets from, let me find it. This is a real quick segment we can watch of Tulsi Gabbard on Fox News.
I believe Comey should be in jail.
I do. Any other person with a position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Put behind bars for an Instagram post saying 86.
Someone explain to me the context. Why is 86 removed? I only heard about it because of this.
Yeah, I don't know how 86 means. Whatever. Yeah.
Means like to get rid of, like 86 something, like to nix it.
Yeah, but why?
I think
Like, where did this come from? What is the etymology of 86?
Restaurants used to use it to 86 that guy, get him out of here, right? He's causing a problem.
Yeah.
Like 86
Why are they saying
the
it's
onions,
a threat, though?
they're bad, right? To get rid of.
Why are they saying it's a threat?
Well,
because
they're liars and they're grifters and
So it just
they,
means
and
get
they
rid
and they
of
should
them.
be in
It doesn't
jail.
mean,
But
like, die, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
But like, I think that Comey probably should have. I haven't looked at like Comey's other posts. I haven't dug into this that deeply. But if he's posting something like that, but he's not also saying like next to it, like we need to impeach this guy, we need to get this guy out of office. Like that's what he should be saying. Like it's a cute dog whistle.
No, it's not a dog whistle. Let's be real.
Well, I mean, okay, dog whistle's maybe the wrong phrase for it. It's a we need to get rid of this guy, and it's like it's a cute sentiment, but like I want to hear him say it with his fucking chest. We need to impeach this guy. Donald Trump should be in prison. Donald Trump should be out of office, and I want Comey to be saying that wholeheartedly.
Let's be clear.
If he had just
let's just be clear, dude. Like none of these people actually believed it meant assassination until 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Not a single one of these motherfuckers.
Well, I think that they probably did actually.
Tweet,
I think that they did in their heart of hearts.
Really?
Believe it. I think
Do you
so.
think then Jack Posobiec, how do you pronounce his name? Do you think he's calling for Joe Biden's
Jack
assassination here?
did mean. I bet he actually was.
I feel like a good
Yeah.
chunk of people looked at that and took it that way. However, I think that it also could mean impeach. But I think it's okay to say this on the internet. I think it's okay.
Sure, I agree.
But
with
again,
that too,
I feel like people are probably taking it both as that. I think that's you can interpret it that way.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them. They've been doing this for years. They have merch up 8646, right? They don't actually believe this. This is a clip from Tim Pool's show on this. So
wait, before you play the clip, can I say
Yeah,
I think Jack Posobiec absolutely does market in like the kind of the half joking domain that we're pointing to here. Like I think that he knows when he says that he is like, I think Jack Posobiec is kind of a stochastic terrorist, and he is advocating for violence against Joe Biden when he posted that. Whether or not Comey was is a different thing, but I think Jack Posobiec absolutely was. I think that's the sort of merchant Jack Posobiec is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I just fundamentally reject that. But let's listen to the clip real quick.
What did he think was going to happen after posting this? Like, everyone was just going to scroll past it?
Yeah.
Why is he playing dumb now? What's the use?
I genuinely think that a lot of these people are so used to getting away with violence and threats, he didn't think anybody would do anything about it.
Krasenstein's replies, people are saying, hey, you condone murder. And he's like, hell no. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. So he's playing dumb as well. Is he getting investigated?
I don't. I think they should, but I was telling the good rep over here how much I love Democrats because they are ruthless and merciless. And if this were inverted, the Democrats would be you'd have a handful of federal cops just mercilessly beating the Republican FBI director.
Yeah, look at what they did to J6ers. People that didn't even get near the building. They arrested grandmas, right?
Yep.
So
they're
yeah, you're right. I mean, I sadly agree with you.
You love Democrats too.
We often let our party down. We let the base down because we always bring like not even a knife to a gunfight. We generally
sport pom-poms. Pom.
I have to get mad. I have to get mad. I have to get really fucking mad at this. And this is what I was going to say earlier. I was like, look, as much as I'm frustrated with Hasan, these people have way more fucking influence in terms of voting, and these people are fucking scumfucks of the earth. Tim Pool, when that guy shot up that like trans nightclub or club or whatever, said, well, I'm not endorsing violence. However, what are you supposed to do when they're grooming the kids? What is one supposed to do? Absolutely implying that the only solution for the right wing right now to fight against the groomers on the left is to kill them. What a scumfuck piece of shit. I think this man should take a long vacation in Belize.
Isn't James Comey?
I agree,
Was he not originally a conservative? Am I crazy?
Yeah, he was. Bush appointee, I think.
He was.
Anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, I like to refer to Tim Pool. I like to call him Commentator 2 from the Tenet Media indictments. But that's just a personal preference.
The problem here is they will just lie. Tim Pool is perpetuating a hoax here to pretend that, first of all, anyone on the left or the right who makes some kind of joke about violence or makes some kind of tweet like that. I'm gonna toot my own horn here. I quote tweeted this, and I asked him, right? Oh, did this get a lot okay? I asked him like, hey, did Biden send thugs to mercilessly beat Jack here? Because again, Jack Poso, this was in 2022. Biden was president. 8646. Did you guys hear anything about this? Was this media anything?
This is virtually unknown. Yeah, this is like nothing to me. I didn't even know that this happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had again, we have quote after quote after quote of these people using this term. We have like Amazon merch where they were selling for years. We have them in their shirts, the 8646 shirts, impeach Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah. No one was beating them. No one was arresting them. No one was threatening them with judicial censorship or restraint or anything like these things. So this hoax that Tim Pool here, right, is perpetuating, is just lying. He's just fucking lying and saying, oh, the left would destroy those people. They're merciless. He's just full of shit. And these people are all full of shit. And you should not take them seriously. They don't believe what they say. They never believed what they said, right? They don't actually think this is a threat. They never did before. And they're pretending to now so that they could use it as a weapon against their political enemies. That's it. That's it.
100%.
Don't give that any more oxygen or
Credence.
waste your
Yeah.
breath defending it. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to make sure I'm 100% clear. I agree completely with your characterization of Tim. I mean, he's going on like different shows, like saying like talking about civil, like how we're already in a civil war and all this insane shit. Like he's absolutely egging on people to basically egging on right wing terrorism. And it's
radical.
It's
Go on
absolutely
Tim
terrifying.
Pool's Twitter and just type "civil war" and watch the 4,000 tweets show up. He just responds that to every possible like culture war thing being pushed in either direction. He's such an instigator. He's such a dishonest piece of shit.
And remember, FBI. He hasn't been the FBI director for years, since like 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Trump fired him.
To act as if he 86'd him, right? To act as if to act as if like he's this guy with this huge amounts of influence and standing is just. A lot of Democrats hate him because he didn't prosecute or didn't that he did the whole Hillary's emails thing and he released all that.
Yeah.
They thought he interfered to help Trump win by doing that whole shit with the Hillary email stuff, right? Democrats don't follow this guy. Democrats don't trust this guy. He's not this huge influential figure. I don't even know what he does now, right? Do you guys?
I'm not sure, but I mean, does he not? Okay, when he says 86-47, he obviously means get rid of Trump, right? Like get this guy out of office, right?
Yeah,
He's saying that.
him.
Okay, yeah, but I want to hear more of that, right? I don't know if Comey's maybe Comey is saying this. I'm not accusing him of not saying that, but like the people who are posting memes like that, I really want to hear a lot more from them. I would just want to hear a lot more people shouting like from the rooftops, like, hey, we need to get this guy out of office. This is not okay. This is not normal. Like what's happening right now this is absolutely unacceptable. And we need to get this guy out of office. We need to try these people and for their crimes because they are absolutely waging war against the American people in a disgusting, horrifying way.
We talked about the other day on Wednesday, we talked about the woke right. This is the woke right. It's the pearl-clutching shit. Look, I condemned the lefties, the crazy lefties, who were saying, Trump is calling for a hit on Liz Cheney. He's calling for Liz Cheney to be shot.
Oh, sure.
No, he wasn't. That was bullshit. You knew it was bullshit. You were trying to gin it up.
Hey, Wick, do you think Elon did the salute or not anymore?
No, I don't think it was a secret Nazi symbol.
All right.
Oh, it was.
What about after
totally
he
was.
It totally. What do you mean?
Wait, Wick, do you know? Wait, Wick, do you acknowledge that he? Do you acknowledge that he endorsed the AfD party that is now been
he's a
deemed
crazy
so far
guy, and we can condemn him for the things he says and does.
Crazy! Wait, Wick, you're downplaying AfD.
All the time.
AfD is a Nazi party, to be clear. The leader of the AfD, Bjorn Höcke, and then Alice Vidal, like these are Nazis. These are Nazi apologists and Nazis. Like, and he is endorsing them and saying you are the centrist party and you are the best hope for Germany. Do you not think that is at least adjacent to the fact that he Sieg Heiled on stage?
I don't think these two are related.
We can't say that the Hasan swastika sword was an anti-Semitic dog whistle, and then say no, that he definitely
endorsing
didn't do
the
a
Nazi
salute.
party.
So that's crazy, Wick.
Can I weigh in here?
Crazy.
I want to weigh in real quick.
Weigh in real quick, and then I'll fight you all. But go ahead, weigh in.
So I think it was very obviously a salute from Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk has a pretty long history of engaging in this kind of stuff, and either he is an outright fucking racist, or he was doing it to be edgy, or both. He likes to do that kind of shit. But I think the reason why the ADL didn't came out and said, oh, it's not anti-Semitic. It wasn't a Sieg Heil. I think the reason that they did that is because they are in a position right now where if they didn't say something like that, I think there was probably, okay, this is my little conspiracy brain, right? But I think there was a shakedown there, okay? I think if they didn't come out and say that I think that they would have found themselves deboosted on social media. I think they already are having a lot of trouble with Twitter because Twitter is like rampant with anti-Semitism. I think that they are in a very, very bad spot right now, and that's the only reason that they had to come out and say something like that.
And Star, wait, Wick, real quick. I want to piggyback off of that, Star. Do you know the suit right now? I think it's the 60 Minutes interview where he's suing them for like $20 billion for this, like, and you agree this is like a violation of their speech. They didn't do anything wrong by editing, but you understand that they're going to settle on that for millions of dollars, and the reason is because they need to sell Paramount, and by selling Paramount, they need to go through the government, and they need that approval, and that means they need Trump's approval, which means they're going to settle on this, not because they agree, not because they think they did any wrongdoing, but because they are scared of like retribution from the Trump government, and they have a financial interest in it. And the same way, I think the ADL says, hey, this is the most momentous like Trump energy that has happened. He's just inaugurated. We do not want to be on the opposite side of that. I think that is very valid. And now you can talk about how Elon Musk is not a Nazi for some reason.
No. I mean, I think he could. I don't know if I would call him a Nazi, but he is at the very least engaged. He's a racist. He probably believes like in white supremacy. He probably right.
He did the thing. Come on. I mean,
he did the Seagull. I mean, yeah. So when I think of Nazi, I think of I guess I'm just like a little bit what's it called? Word brain poisoned, you know, because I'm like super specific with certain words. But yeah, he's obviously got all the neo-Nazi beliefs, whatever. He's got those beliefs. Yeah. So he did the salute.
Absolutely.
I think it's a salute. I think the only reason the ADL came out and was like, oh, he didn't do that is because they knew that they would be deboosted on social media. They knew that they would, get fucking wrecked. They're already getting wrecked on social media. They, Jonathan Greenblatt's and this is like the only Jewish advocacy organization that they have, So, yeah.
Okay. So if I can quickly offer an alternative word, like an alternative phrase to describe the kind of behavior that we're dancing around here, I don't mean that dismissively. I like to label the kind of actions that Elon engages in, the kind of rhetoric he does, as and Trump and a lot of this regime is a kind of like postmodern neo-fascism. And I mean that I mean that partially tongue in cheek, but I also mean it very, very like specifically. Like I'm choosing those words, not glibly. Like I'm being particular with that language. Like oftentimes, like when Elon does a Hail Hitler, he's not, or a Sieg Heil, whatever. He's not doing it like necessarily because he like ideologically aligns with like Hitler or Nazis. But like he understands that doing so is going to cause people, a lot of progressives, to be concerned and be like, oh, he's doing it, and he's gonna. He knows that a lot of right wingers. Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a trap, and you are using that as your. That is what I'm pointing to. Yeah, that is what you're pointing to, and saying, oh, that's the bad. That's the bad. That's the bad.
The bad is endorsing the IFD, Whick.
Cover. It acts as cover,
most damning
and a shield. Right, you guys gotta let me. You guys gotta let me talk at least some point.
Yeah, but you're strawmanning our position. That's not the bad. That is an indication of his other beliefs.
I'm telling you what is happening. Right, I'm observing reality and repeating that.
Because I made a whole video on this, which I know you didn't watch, which is fine because you would have agreed with me if you did. But like, look, he endorses the party of Nazi. Like these people are Nazi. Not oh, hey, they kind of maybe said something a little fascist. No, like neo-Nazis marching in neo-Nazi like rallies. Like I am saying alles für Deutschland, like Nazi things. Like so blatantly Nazis that judges have ruled it is not defamation to call them fascists because it is a statement of fact to do this because of the totality of evidence in which these people are Nazis, and he is endorsing them wholeheartedly. So your two positions you can have on this, Whick. Either Elon Musk is such a fucking retard that he doesn't understand that these people are Nazis, or he's smart enough to know and he's not saying Nazi things, in public, except for when he Sieg Heils on stage, and then he's endorsing the Nazi party. Which one of those do you think is real?
So that the right people take the message, and that's why it's a dog whistle.
I do want to say the fact that you're saying Hasan is dog whistling, which I do agree with, but you're defending this is insane to me.
First of all, if you think that I am defending
Elon Musk,
you're crazy.
Yes, you are.
You are crazy. Yes, you are. I have condemned Elon Musk publicly for all these things he has done. No, not for that, because that doesn't matter. The Nazis were bad because they did this. That wasn't what made the Nazis bad. That's not what made the Nazis a bad people. It wasn't because they had a swastika
It's the signal.
That's not what made them bad. You understand that, correct?
To the entire planet, Whick. I'm not saying that he. You
understand that that's not what made the Nazis bad, correct?
I'm not saying Hitler was bad because he Sieg Heiled. I'm saying Hitler was bad because he did the Holocaust. However, when one of the most famous people in the world goes on the world stage and indicates to the entire planet, "Heil Hitler, look at me, I like Nazis," and then endorses the Nazi party in Germany and boosts Nazis on Twitter, he is absolutely a fucking Nazi. And to then come out and be like, don't think you're falling for his trap when he says, "Hey guys, I think that we should have."
It makes
more
you look
white
as stupid
people."
as the people who are calling 8647 as assassination on Trump. It absolutely does. It makes you look dumb.
Okay, well then we could also say that you're falling for Hasan's trap when you call the swastika sword anti-Semitic. We could say that you're also falling for
I
that
think that's
trap
a much
because
less.
I don't think Hasan is anti-Semitic. I think he was doing it to piss specific people off, specifically Ethan Klein, and make him feel crazy. So this is the same situation, except that Elon Musk has a lot more power and is much scarier, and it's not a personal beef. This is like he's destroying America and endorsing the fascist neo-Nazi party in
Can I go through a
Germany.
list of evidence and you can tell me which of each of these things makes him not a Nazi?
Go through your list of evidence of why.
Okay. Do you think that endorsing
Elon Musk is a Nazi? So you think he is a Nazi, correct? You're not saying he's endorsing Nazis. You're saying he himself is a Nazi.
Well, J-Reg made an interesting video. If you watch,
I'm just asking you directly. Do you think Elon Musk is a Nazi?
Well, what I'm about to clarify is the term Nazi, because I think the current fascist regime is a post-racial almost. Like you will see, there are racist Nazi Indian people who are yeah, I love Hitler and I'm also brown, and somehow they can hold these two things. You look at Kanye West. I think he is a little mentally broken, but this is a very, very true thing. And so do I think that he is a white nationalist promoting the 14 words, preserve a country for us, and also Heil Hitler person? Yeah, 100%. Is he one-to-one the exact kind of 1940s Nazi? No, but he's a Nazi. He's a Nazi insofar as he endorses them to the degree of which it should be absolutely dangerous, and he's endorsing the AFD German Nazi party. Yeah.
Go through your. So my problem with this is that there's plenty of evidence that we can point to that Elon Musk isn't racist, that he isn't someone who thinks that we should be protecting the white race or whatever, right? He
Whoa, really? What? What?
Yeah, sure. He explicitly went against the people who were condemning the H-1B visas, saying that Indians and other people have ruined America, and he condemned them specifically. He called them racist. He said that they needed to be removed and expunged for the Republican Party.
Wick,
he was absolutely defending. If I could finish, please. He was absolutely defending these people, and you can say, well, he's only doing it in his own self-interest. Fair enough, but he was doing it.
I just linked you a tweet where he is endorsing the white genocide conspiracy theory. What do you think about that?
So if I can, this is why I wouldn't straight up call him a Nazi, but I do think he's very much a white supremacist, and I think he's very much maybe he's very
banned a bunch of groypers.
Well, wait a minute. Wait just a second. I wouldn't call him straight up a Nazi just because of again my brain is poisoned with words or whatever.
No, we're taking it back, Star.
But we're taking back the word.
We're taking it back. Us Jews have been having it stolen by the libs.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's hard for me to even say the word call somebody a Nazi because of for how many years people are calling people Nazis with no reason, right? But I will say, okay, yeah, he may have. Okay, that was the only time where I was like, oh, thank God somebody's saying something with the whole H-1B visa stuff. But he still has his on his Twitter, he still some of the biggest boosted tweets are some of these very anti-Indian tweets that get tens of thousands of likes. So as long as it's not it seems like these tweets are very much being boosted. He's totally okay with his site, and let's just remember the way that a lot of these far right white supremacists work is that because they are ostracized from so many different spaces, when they finally get a space where they can actually thrive, they will artificially flood those spaces, right? And so Twitter is becoming one of those places. So you have all these super racist tweets that are getting tens of thousands of likes, reaching the top of the of the site, going on the For You page, or whatever you would call it. Yes, he defended the H-1B visa workers, but that doesn't mean that he still isn't okay with a whole bunch of racism being propagated on his site. And he's totally okay with a bunch of problematic beliefs that he has. He's totally okay with I remember him liking some of these Nazi meme pages, right? And those Nazi meme pages make a lot of money too. So yeah.
Yeah, I linked a bunch of those to you, Whick, but I think the strongest evidence is the AfD. And if you're going to say that either he's too stupid to know that they are an explicitly Nazi party, so far to the fact that they're considering being banned. It's illegal to be a Nazi party in Germany. And as of making that video I made, they are now considered on the out, because if you advocate for things that would dismantle the democracy that allows you to get elected in Germany, they just ban you. They don't let you do that. And that's where they are. And he is endorsing them and calling them the centrist party. And all the not all the leaders, but a significant portion of their leaders are just saying Nazi things. They get caught at Nazi rallies. This is not like, oh, I'm mincing words. Oh, they're people I don't like, Nazis. This is Nazis, swastika, heiling Hitler in the street, Nazis. And he is endorsing them. And if you can look at all of that and say,
You can
oh,
condemn
he's
that?
just baiting you. Huh?
You can condemn that all. You can say that that's very the AFD
you
is
should condemn it
fascist, the
too.
AFD is Nazis, and you should. But to say
Okay.
that, and anyone who supports them is a Nazi too, is his bridge too far? Because they're
Why?
look
They're
at the
Nazis.
Weimar.
If you support Nazis, you're a Nazi.
Many people in the Weimar Republic were not Nazis, and yet they endorsed, at least at first, the Nazi Party. Right? They worked with them. They worked together with them because they thought they could control them. They thought
both
they could.
of you get
they
the
thought they
wall,
could
all
use
right?
them. They thought they could do these things with them. That did not make them a Nazi. It's this. The problem I'm having here, and if I can finish, right, is this is a trap, and this is why this hurts us. It makes it harder for us to win. It's because people see that. They recognize that Elon Musk, he's not a Nazi. I saw him defending Indians on Twitter. I saw him taking white supremacists to task. I saw him do this. And they recognize him. They may not agree with everything he says. You may think he's kind of a dumbass, and he is. But they can recognize he's not a Nazi. And when you insist that he is, and you insist in this struggle session BS, right, that you must think he's a Nazi or you're stupid, people stop listening to you. This is why we call them the woke right, by the way. If I may finish, and I'll let you all go. I'll let you all go. It's the same thing that's happening on the other side, where people like libs of TikTok and Cat Turd are insisting that 8647 must mean assassination, and if you don't think it means assassination, you're part of the deep state too, right? It's
Whick,
the
do you think
same
Sieg Heiling
behavior.
is a Nazi salute?
I don't think he was Sieg Heiling.
Okay, wait.
Go
last
ahead,
thing, and then
Charlie, say it.
Okay, go ahead, Charlie.
Okay. The whole thing about defending Indians on Twitter, the whole H1B visa shit. He likes that because he can pay those people like way less than Americans. That's why he supports it. Not because he's like, no, I love Indians. I don't think that they're lesser. He's like, no, I like them because they are almost my slaves. I like to not pay them money. I like it when they do so much work for me and I pay them nothing.
Yeah, and to be fair, and Charlie,
I'm pretty sure there are regulations that make it almost the same as.
Yeah,
as
it's
paying
no,
them.
that's not true. Look,
it's
okay,
not,
especially
it's-
at Tesla, I know people that work there. The way this
Yeah.
works is you get a lot of Indian immigrants, and they are beholden to Tesla because as soon as they get kicked off of that, if they get fired, they're fucked. They have 1 month, maybe 3 months to find a job. It's very, very difficult in Silicon Valley, and you can absolutely fuck around with these people and push them in ways that you can't with normal employees because you are their fucking owner. A lot of these people get paid way less, and a majority of H1Bs are actually in the IT industry and get paid way below average of what they should be because they know, hey, we're fucking like helping you out. And so yes, he's absolutely exploiting those people. But I'll even add this: I know a lot of very Nazi adjacent Indian people in Silicon Valley because for some reason there is some movement within the I think there's even a group of
Hindu nationalism.
Yeah,
I
like
think
Hindu nationalism
is the big thing.
There's a very weird overlap. But Whick, all I'll say is this. Look, if you're saying don't use the word Nazi because Elon Musk is just a white nationalist, promoter of conspiracy theories like white genocide, birthright obsessed, Sieg Heiling, AfD endorsing man, okay, I'm still going to call him a Nazi. And I'm not talking to the people that I'm trying to convince on the other side. I'm talking to you, who I hold to a higher standard because you're not a fucking moron. You can understand that this man
The
is a
average
Nazi. Now,
H1B
you on your
visa
public
holder makes $167,000 a year.
I know that, but that is much below what they should be
abuse.
making.
They're
in this.
slaves, basically.
They're slaves to Tesla.
They are
abused.
for
They are abused.
$167,000 a year.
They are being paid
Wild.
way less than they should
Live in
be.
the Bay Area.
Wild.
That's not a good wage for
If
what
I
they
can
should
butt
be
in
being
here.
paid.
Okay, even if like my thing is like even if they were right, and you guys are saying they are not, but even if they were being paid the same or near the same as an American worker, they still are at a disadvantage because again, if they like they were saying like if they get fired, if they get let go, right, they're at kind of beholden to their employer, right? They're kind of fucked if they get fired or let go. So that is the difference. And also these are people coming from a different country. The work ethic is also going to be very different. And just like the work environment as well is very different. You kind of get to fuck around with people like that a little bit more and it sucks, So, yeah.
Yeah, with most of
where's
these
that one
H-1Bs are in. This is in Bay Area. Like the salaries at some of these companies are 200, 300, 400K. And if you look at what they should be being paid versus what they are being paid, it's below. And if you look at how you can fuck with them in terms of, this, again, slave, obviously, this is obviously a hyperbole, but the way that you can manipulate these people because they're beholden to stay in the country based on your employment is very, very strong. They have a lot of leverage over them, and they're scared to move. They're scared to push back. They're scared to fight for themselves, to advocate. The HR situations get really messy. H-1Bs are a way to take advantage of people, 100%. I'm not saying they're bad, by the way. These are opportunities being granted. I'm saying, but you can be manipulated.
They're good workers too. You're picking like the creme de la creme from, you've got a country full of millions, billions of people, really, and so you are picking the creme de la creme, right? You're getting really good workers, but yes, they are inherently in a disadvantaged situation. Even if they were making the same or close to the same, they would still be in a disadvantaged situation because if they get let go or they get fired, then they have to go back and all of that.
This argument applies to just any worker ever. I am beholden on my audience.
Not in the same.
Hold on. If I am beholden to my employer, right, to my audience, to make enough to make ends meet, and if I don't, I will lose my home. I will lose my car. I will lose my home.
If you lost your job for a month, would you lose your home?
This is something that every single worker, almost, in the United States,
it's different for immigrant workers, Whick. It is different for immigrant workers, especially people who are like not yet U.S. citizens, whether they're undocumented.
And also for those citizens, also it's not like they go back to India and those same jobs are in India. They're not. Like these people are people who end up working in like marketing jobs when they go back to India.
By the way, pay me more, or I will lose my house. I won't actually lose my house. I paid my mortgage off. I'm actually in a pretty good position. But give me more money.
Even if you're living paycheck to paycheck, dude, it's like very different from, hey, if you don't get a job after we fire you from this, we are deporting you. You are going to a different country. Your all your friends and family and any connection you have, gone now, right? This is very different.
Stop at deportation, right? It's you're getting deported. That money, that extra money that you were making, that you're sending back to your family, because a lot of them are sending back money to their families. That's not going to be a thing anymore. The career that they were in, they can't climb the ladder in that career anymore because they're in a country where that career, those opportunities aren't there. They're now working in a completely different industry, making way less, right? So it's like a whole thing. Yeah. It's very different. So
again, I think that this is overstating the plight of the H-1B visa worker. I don't think that they are as oppressed or as
okay, but my point is that they are a cheaper source of labor than American citizens, and they are a workforce that are much easier to control, and that is something that
Tesla takes a big advantage of. 100%.
Yes, and in tech right now there's a lot of pushback against the power of developers and engineers. Like they don't like those people having the power that they do, and the people who own these companies want tech workers to have less power. So this is part of that.
And it's Charlie, piggybacking off of this, Elon, and I worked at Elon's companies. I know how this works insofar as he absolutely exploits these people. He makes them work like 60, 80-hour weeks. He demands so much of them. There are wait, hold on. I can't say more than that, actually. I might be breaking my NDA. Look, all I'm saying is I think these things are indeed confirmed by several articles that I've seen on the internet, that the people are staying overnight, people are being abused, people are getting called in for weekend work, people are sleeping like in the office. And this is to the fact that like who will be more willing to put up with the person who is scared that if they don't do what you say,
does the American worker have to do it too?
Have to do it? It's not about have to. It's look, I expect this. Well, here have to like.
Is the American worker required to sleep on the floor and stuff like that, the same as the Indian?
Yeah, but if they get fired, they can find another job in their same city.
Do you think an H-1B visa worker who is fired from a company has no options?
They have much fewer options, and they have a ticking clock that says if you don't find a job within this amount of weeks, you are gone. Not even close
it's
to the
different.
Same thing.
Deportation is different. Oh my goodness! Like that is.
It's like, the only way this is analogous, and by the way, I do say these people get paid less than they should be, but this is not, poor Jimmy Bob working paycheck to paycheck to afford the milk. This is, hey, you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can probably afford savings for a couple months. If you get fired from Tesla, which a lot of my friends have been laid off from Tesla, they can find work, they have some stock options, they are not scared that if they don't find something in 4 to 6 weeks, they're fucked and getting sent back to Argentina, okay? This is so much different. This is intensely, and I think Wick, with all due respect, please just talk to like an H1B person because this is like very.
We can
very,
bring
very,
one
like,
on.
evident.
Zephyr, Hash, are you in my audience? This is where I'm getting my takes on because I talked to one. Sorry, white man, but I listen when the H1Bs
Hey,
worker
the one I
talks,
just cited
okay?
was an H1B. He was a white man too. All right.
I'm
This
just
happens- this
saying,
isn't
like,
just
I
brown
understand
people.
you're trying to be the
Yeah.
savior
All of
here,
this
the
to
Indian
say-
people, right? But
Well,
No,
it
look,
sounds like
I
the
love
Soy Pill
Indian
was
people,
it was a tech worker who worked with a lot of H1B. This is like a direct source.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I've heard conflicting things, so I don't want to say one way or the other. I've heard some people say, like, oh, yeah, they get paid way less. And then I've heard other people say, no, they don't get paid way less. The regulations make it so they have to get paid as much as the average American worker. But I still think that there are other things to weigh in here when it comes to, like, if they lose their job. Yeah, obviously, there's a time period before they have to go back to India. There's a time period also, like, there's also, when they go back to India, like, those same opportunities are not there, right? So yeah.
Yeah, by the way, I want to make it clear, you're right, Star. This is not like, oh, the H1B guy gets 100K and the guy in the exact same position who's a citizen gets 150. I think the most this does play out in terms of wages is that it's, hey, this person is scared that if they advocate for themselves or try to negotiate for a better salary and they tick their boss off, they get fired and deported. Not, oh boy, here's all my indentured servants. And anyone who calls it slavery, I think, is absolutely overplaying it to Wick's defense. But by the way, this is all to the greater point of that Elon Musk is totally a Nazi. So yeah.
hyperbole it does us no favors, and it makes it hard for people to tell the difference between us screaming that, oh, Trump is calling for Liz Cheney to die, and because I saw a lot of people, including Pisco and shit like that.
Well, I think that Elon Musk's,
right?
endorsement of the AFD is probably evidence enough that he most likely does not hold Indians in high regard or immigrant workers. I think,
Well, I don't know. I would maybe a little bit disagree there. One of his like baby mamas is half Indian or whatever, but like,
Yeah, and Thomas Jefferson had slave babies.
I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah, but like, it doesn't change the fact. Like, okay, maybe he did stick up for H1Bs, right? Again, we still have, even if they're getting paid the same amount, H1Bs still have very specific things that kind of put them at a disadvantage in a lot more ways than others. But also,
wait, do we remember when he rehired the guy who said normalize Indian hate? Do we remember this?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I forgot about that.
Wait a minute. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I'm not saying that.
I know. I was adding on to you because you were
yeah.
being soft on Wick, and I'm like, no, hold on, Wick.
Hold on, he
I
fired
think,
him initially. He was forced to hire him back.
Oh, was he forced? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
look, all I'm
Forced
saying
by
is
Trump?
that.
Yeah.
I think that
I'm not
Elon
here to
Musk-
say Trump ain't a fucking fascist.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Elon Musk is a.
oh, yeah, sorry,
wait,
sorry.
I think Elon Musk is. I think it's very clear that Elon Musk is a fucking idiot, and I don't know what's wrong with his
Again,
brain.
bravo.
His
Yes,
brain's-
Elon Musk is bad. Okay.
Wait,
I'm not saying he's
no,
good.
Elon. It's not just that he's bad. He also like believes like pretty problematic things. He like engages in some pretty crazy conspiracy theories, and he really, I don't know. He's like the prime mind for indoctrinating with bullshit. So
and like what Star said,
Totally.
okay, what Star said. You go on X. Anytime there is a post where you see an Indian person or it's an Indian person making a post, all of it is racist bullshit. You see a post of like an interracial couple. I think there was like these pretty wedding video of a black man and a white woman. All of it was like the most insane racist, like race science. And okay, when I say Nazi, I think specifically of people doing a lot of a very Nazi-like race science shit, where they rank the races in their minds, which I know not just the Nazis did. I know that that's like very much a Victorian era invention. But that's, I don't know. I think that's close enough. I don't think it devalues that. I just feel like it's pretty clear that he is very supportive of
Let me ask you all a question.
white
I'll ask you, Charlie.
supremacist ideals.
Yeah, let me ask you, Charlie, real
Before you
quick.
do, can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
On that topic. Yeah. Again, I'm bringing it back to something I said earlier, but I really want to. I think it's a great term, this postmodern neo-fascism, because oftentimes the joke that they're making, because they joke about it, they'll joke about things that are, they'll make racist jokes, and oftentimes the joke is that they're like half joking. right? Like if Elon does a seek hell, it's not just that like, oh, Elon has like vague Nazi-ish beliefs. It's also that like he understands that he appeals to a lot of people who have much stronger Nazi-ish beliefs, and a bunch of people who don't care what those beliefs are and just care about the power that it yields them, and people who will defend it because they don't even want to think about him having those sorts of beliefs. And like that's the sort of like the sort of
Radical, would you call the people who
play
defend it
in, but yeah.
useful idiots? Would you use that term?
Yeah, I sure would actually. Yeah,
What
I
would
think that's
you
a good
use?
term
What
for it,
term
yeah.
would you use to the people who've called everyone right of to the left of Milton Friedman a Nazi? Do you think those people are useful? Idiots?
The term I would use is correct too early. That's what
Correct
I would say.
too early. Here's a problem
Yeah.
I'm having, and let me ask you this, Charlie. Right, I want to get you in here a little.
Mhm.
Do you think that the people who, first of all, do you think Nazi has been overused by the left? Just good check it.
I think yes. Well, I think as evidenced by the guy who called you called you a Nazi. I think that's ridiculous.
The pedophile who was soliciting 15-year-old girls for sex
However,
and child porn. Yes.
Yes. However, I do feel that when it comes to Elon Musk, I think that that feels very accurate to me. It's not something that I accuse people of lightly. I don't know if you've ever heard me call someone a Nazi.
I've
but
never heard you call like Elon a Nazi till tonight, frankly, because we haven't talked about Elon or really anything like that.
To be fair, yeah, we haven't. But again, you cannot AFD and then do a Zeke Heil, and that's just.
If you
and then
wanted...
be like, no, teehee, like.
Can we
it's insulting.
You fell for my trap. I endorse killing all the Jews, but I'm not actually meaning it. Haha, tricked you.
Do you have a hold on? You're saying he's endorsing killing the Jews?
No, that was a joke, Wick. I don't think he literally said that.
so
Though he did
I don't
say
know.
Jews spread lies and import immigrants to like destroy our
So
country.
does Hasan, right?
Okay,
Like,
and yet, and one of these people you
Hasan
seem to
has
have been
not said
very
that.
accusatory towards, and the other you seem to be like, what?
Do you think I would call
And
Hasan
one of
a
them is
Nazi?
much more dangerous.
I think you would call Hasan anti-Semitic, right?
Yeah, Hasan's anti-Semitic, but I've never called him a
Elon
Nazi.
Musk
I
is
don't think he's
anti-Semitic?
a Nazi. I've
Do you
never
think Elon Musk is
implied he's a
anti-Semitic?
Nazi.
Do you think Elon Musk is anti-Semitic?
Probably, yeah.
No. Yes or no? When he says
Probably.
hey, no. Yes or no? When he says no, let me read this. What is this shit? He says, blah, 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 blah. You have said the actual truth. Let me find this clip, because I want to read this verbatim to you, and you have to tell me yes or no. Is Elon Musk a Nazi? All right? Hold on, where is
A
this?
Nazi or anti-Semitic? Which one? I think
Anti-Semitic.
Do you think that you
Anti-Semitic,
have to be a Nazi if you're anti-Semitic?
No.
Okay,
No.
me neither.
Look, I hate Jews, and I'm not a Nazi. So.
True. Fair.
Just to be clear, Wick, you would boldly say that Hasan is anti-Semitic, right?
Yes,
you wouldn't
I
say
think,
probably.
I
you
think
would say he is.
At
Okay,
least,
okay.
at the very least. Hold on, stop. At the very least, because I want to clarify. At the very least, he flirts with anti-Semitism, and he allows
Wick,
anti-Semitism.
yes or no? Yes or no? I'm going to read this to you.
We're talking about Hasan.
No, okay, sure. I'm talking about Elon now. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit about how Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that they support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. And then he says, you have said the actual truth. Do you think Elon Musk is anti-Semitic, Wick?
Yes, he has anti-Semitic beliefs.
Okay, cool. No, okay, cool. I thought you were going to hedge it and you're going to trigger the fuck out of me.
God.
No,
Yeah,
is
so
that not
I-
true to
I-
say he
can I-
has
if I can weigh
anti-Semitic
in
beliefs
here?
if he's promoting that?
No,
If I
it's
can
not
weigh
just
in
fair.
here,
It's like very
um,
obviously, oh, this man's an anti-Semite. Yeah.
if I can weigh in here, I understand where Wick is coming from, because I'm also somebody who I tend to be very hesitant of even using the word Nazi, because it's been devalued so much and become such a meaningless word.
I agree.
But like I think
agree.
it's pretty evident that Elon Musk has some pretty bad views, and he's probably
Then we
a
could
racist.
just call him out on those bad
he's-
views. Absolutely.
But,
So
but,
it's
it, but
such a
bad views doesn't
downplay.
do it
It's
enough,
such a
right?
downplay.
But bad
He's
views
Steve Heiling
doesn't
on
do it
stage,
enough. It
Wick.
doesn't really highlight how bad those views are.
And how
so, like,
dangerous he is to other people. Like, he is
Yeah.
dangerous to the American people and to the world. Like,
so there needs to
and I
be
think
like a way that we can describe him. I feel that without me saying Nazi, that but calling him a white supremacist, I think is accurate. I think calling him a
Look,
racist is accurate. I
a
think calling him.
postmodern neo-fascist. What
I
does
like
the
that
radical
term
say?
actually. I really
Maybe
like
say it
that.
like Jordan Peterson.
But I
It's a
hate that term
postmodern
because no one will know
neo-fascist.
what you mean. Right?
Well, he's okay.
Well, do you know what a
yeah,
Nazi is?
can
Do you think people would know
No,
what you mean when you call
postmodern
them a Nazi?
neo-fascist.
No,
There's a
right.
lot
But
of
do you think
$5
you
words
know
that
if
people
I
won't
said Nazi?
understand.
What about Nazi does not encompass Elon Musk when I say it? What do you think?
I don't think that he wants the corporate control of the government, the corporatism. I don't think he believes in corporatism.
Oh my God!
I don't
You know
think he
what I
believes
think
in-
about when I think about Nazis is the corporatism. That's what I think about. I'm like those corporatists.
Okay, if you were just
know?
saying anyone who's racist is a Nazi, I don't think
That's
that's
not what
helpful.
I said. I
he
said
goes a little bit
specifically
beyond
anti-Semitic,
racist.
endorsing Nazi Party, heiling, promotion of white genocide conspiracy theories are Nazis. Okay, this is look. I'm very careful, like Star. I'm very careful with this term. I do not call people Nazis who do not do very explicit Nazi shit. I think he has done explicit Nazi shit, and we should call him specifically a Nazi.
Can
I
we
don't
talk
think
about
Trump
the
is a
racist
Nazi.
stuff
I don't think
floating to
JD
the
Vance
top
is
of
a
Twitter?
Nazi. I think Elon is a Nazi. Okay.
Can we talk about the racist stuff floating to the top of Twitter? Because that's been really crazy for me. Like all the racist, like even the anti-Indian stuff. Like, okay, I knew it was bad before. But I also willingly walked into those spaces and got that right. There's no reason why a normie should be like looking at Twitter and seeing like a man straight up harassing a woman and her boyfriend who looks like he's Indian, and then all these people, tens of thousands of people, liking it and agreeing with it. Right? I don't want my like family and friends to see that kind of shit. Isn't that crazy? Like that kind of
Who'd we
like
lose? Did
you
he
know?
get tired of us?
Oh,
or
he ran.
something? He run away.
Coward.
Okay, here he is. I didn't
What
do it.
happened?
I didn't cancel him. It wasn't me.
I misclicked. I
Wick.
mean, Wick is trying to subvert me. He knew he
Oh
couldn't
my
win in the
God.
marketplace
Damn.
of ideas. He knew he couldn't.
Booted him.
Oppression.
No,
It
that was my
is.
bad.
I will say
missed
that like
into the
I will
void.
say that you guys are all still wrong, and I think that you were unwittingly helping.
But
them.
Wick, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can view Hasan as
I think he flirts with
dangerous
anti-Semitism and has
and
anti-Semitic beliefs, and he helps the other party.
but I don't get how you don't see the
But I think
danger
Wick
with
has-
Elon and the accuracy of
hold
it
on,
in the
hold
sense
on.
that
I
he is
think
a
Wick
lot of
actually-
power.
Just
I
real
think
quick.
Wick believes the
Oh.
same thing about Elon as he does about Hasan. He probably believes that Elon's even more dangerous.
Yes.
But he just
I
doesn't
should
call
hope
him
so
a
Yes.
because
Yeah, I
he
would
has
certainly
huge
hope
Yes,
so.
position of power
this
in the government.
this
He's
is
a
the
Twitch
problem
streamer.
here. You guys are assuming because I won't call him a Nazi that I think he's a good man. That is not true.
No, I know.
Well, and
you
also
think
that
he's
you
bad,
take
Wick.
issue with him being called a Nazi.
Because
like,
I
the
think
fact
it's
that you
I
take
think
an
it's
issue
unhelpful.
with it.
I think
Okay,
it's inaccurate, unhelpful, and it allows
Wick.
Republic. If I can finish, it allows the Republican Party to point at it and say they're crazy.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
gonna
I
do
would
that
literally
anyway.
put
I
him
need
in
to ask
part.
Wick. I need to ask
I
Wick
just
some
wouldn't call him a
questions.
Nazi
Yeah.
personally,
Wick.
you know. But
You also said probably
Andreas-
to the anti-Semite question.
Yeah, that was hedged. Okay, but Wick, Andreas Kaubitz, he was caught in a neo-Nazi march. He's a AfD politician. Do you think this man's a Nazi?
I don't know enough about him.
Based on what I've told you,
He was caught in a protest with the
he was,
AfD.
he was
it
protesting
doesn't-
with he was marching with 14 other neo-Nazis and Sieg Heiling.
and Sieg Heiling probably.
Probably.
Yes, because I don't.
Are you
Look,
fucking
this
serious,
is-
dude?
Yes, I am serious, and this is a problem. You were like, "Oh, he."
just
I'm going to
because I
give you
marched with
I'm going to
Nazis
give
and
you a
Sieg
small
Heil,
bit of information
Nazi now.
because I already know you can't identify a Nazi properly because you think Elon Musk is a Nazi. So I already know that your judgment.
I know
is
you
in...
haven't watched my video. You would
I
believe
haven't
me
watched
if you
your
did.
video, and that's not because
It's a good
I
video.
don't like you
It's a
or
good
anything.
video.
It's because I don't watch people's videos.
No, it's fine. It's
Sorry,
fine. It's
right?
fine,
It's no,
Wick.
it's
Wick,
not
by
a-
the way, Wick, I'm going hard on you because I hate Elon, not because I hate you.
I
by the way. This
understand.
is a
I
very
understand,
much an
and it's
Elon
okay
hate
to go
thing,
hard
right?
at me. I'll go
I'm
hard
doing it
back,
'cause I
but
hate you,
let me
Wick.
finish my
Let's
finish.
go hard,
I'm doing
brother.
a 4v1 here, and I'm bodying you all. But let's go, right? I'm taking you all on. at
wait
the
a
same
minute,
time,
I'm in the
right?
middle here, okay?
Oh, you're a
I
centrist?
feel like
Yeah, shut up, Star. You're in the middle.
Dirty
I'm a little
centrist.
bit of a centrist. I understand why other people are calling him a Nazi. I personally am not going to call him a Nazi, but I would use a bunch of other words for him, like white supremacist. I would obviously call him a racist. I would obviously call him, all these other things, a conspiracy theorist, a dangerous, brain rotted fucking idiot, But
Postmodern
yeah,
neo-fascist.
postmodern neo-fascist. I would absolutely use that. I actually really do like that, but yeah, there's the comprehension
It's the great tragedy that no matter how many Nazi things he does, no matter how much he salutes, no one will call him this. No one will call him this.
It's like if I
he's trying so hard.
If I came on here with a white hood and started saying the South will rise, am I right, guys? And then I get mad because the soy pill says that I'm in the KKK. I'd be like, no, guys.
I need a demonstration. Put on your white hood and say that. I wanna see how it looks. I want to see what's gonna happen.
Okay, I'll defend Whick for a second here. If you did that right now, I wouldn't think you're racist. I'd be like, what?
Okay, well, I'm also
you
also know me. You also know me.
Right. And so when someone with a history of growing up in an apartheid white supremacist state who then goes to America and then starts preaching all these incredibly neo-Nazi beliefs, not neo-Nazi adjacent beliefs, neo-Nazi beliefs, promoting neo-Nazis on Twitter, Sieg Heiling on stage in front of the planet and endorsing the Nazi Party of Germany, and it's, hey, I don't think it's optically good to call this guy a Nazi. Look, Star, I understand what you're saying. It's like, look, this word is poison. And I say this in my video. I'm like, look, I think, yes, this has been such an overused word. Every single presidential candidate is called a Nazi. Every single one, Democrat or Republican. Oh, you want to take away this? Nazi. You want to take away our gun? Nazi. Oh, you did something slightly authoritarian? Nazi. That is overused. But I am very, very careful. I do not call many people Nazis. And trust me, when I say that this man is a Nazi, is because I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that this guy believes Nazi beliefs and is a Nazi. Like, he's endorsing Nazis, people who are explicitly Nazis. He is Sieg Heilig. This is Nazi shit,
No, I mean,
and it
he
pisses
might
me off.
very-
Careful about
He probably
this,
is
because
a
he
Nazi, but he probably is a Nazi. But again, for me, it's just a thing where, like, I think I'm a little bit traumatized of being, like, written off. So for me, my immediate thing is like, how can I convey that this person is a terrible person without immediately getting written off by using the word Nazi, right? Because that's what exactly is going to happen. As soon as I say the word Nazi, they're going to be like, oh, yeah.
I am careful to call him this when I'm talking to people that I know can understand it. And that's why I know Whick. I know Whick has the capability. When he sees all this evidence, when he watches my video 7 times to boost the algorithm, he's going to be like, never mind, I was wrong.
I'll comment
and
on
I
it,
I won't even accept the apology because I don't think he needs one, because I know he'll do it. And I'll say, you know what, Whick, that's fine. I understand. You needed to see the way I introduced you to it. But when I'm talking to a Trump supporter, I'm not like, oh, you support that Nazi? Because obviously that's going to immediately set them off. You say, hey, like, did you know that Elon Musk endorsed the AfD in Germany? And they say, oh, what's that? And I'm like, well, it's this party, and all of their heads are, very explicitly holding Nazi beliefs insofar as, saying, hey, Nazis did nothing wrong and we're really cool with them. And also the Holocaust Memorial is a monument of shame. We should not apologize for what we've done in the past. I refuse to celebrate the liberation of the Germans, when really it's the defeat of the Nazis. And I think that's a shame on our country. And also Sieg Heiling everywhere, getting caught at neo-Nazi rallies, getting caught at Hitler youth training parties in the middle of the woods, and just overall all this Nazi shit. And then to say he endorses them and has definitely heard about all this because it's very explicit in the news. Don't you think that makes him a Nazi? That's how I would introduce it. But yes, I understand the poison.
Sure, the trick you're doing, right? And it is a trick, right? It's this rhetorical trick where you list all the terrible things that someone has done, and then you kind of sneak it onto someone else and say, this person does all these terrible things. And by the way, this guy endorses him, so he must be the same.
Oh my God.
Do you understand how that's not exactly true?
And that's why I linked you all the tweets where he's saying, look at all the white birth rates going down. Hey, look at the white replacements. And the tweet where he said,
going down, do you think that makes you a Nazi?
Jews, this is a totality aggregate thing, Whick. When he says Jews are deceiving the whites and bringing in hordes of minorities.
That's a very,
this is a little Nazi thing to say.
That is a very specific anti-Semitic theory, right? That's a very, very specific one that is just straight up anti-Semitism, right? So
the whites' birth rates are low is an anti-Semitic thing?
No, that is behind. No, the theory is that Jewish people are destroying the white race by bringing in different races and flooding us with immigrants. And I'm not white, but I'm just saying us. Are
It's okay. You
They're
have the
flooding-
pass.
You have the pass.
You are
pass.
a
Yeah, one of us.
honorary for this panel. You are an honorary white.
No, I'm just saying this is what they're
Honorarian.
saying. What they're
Honorary
saying is
word.
like, oh, they're coming in, they're flooding us with all these migrants, and they're decreasing our birth rate by promoting interracial porn, which that one's a little bit more zany on the anti-Semitism thing, but they believe that Jewish
Who
people
owns the sites, Star?
Yeah, who owns the sites, and they're promoting interracial relationships with even like commercials and stuff like that, and white birth rates are going down, even though like it has to do with education, but whatever. Like white rates are going down, and yeah, it's like all because of the Jews flooding us with migrants and stuff. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not just hey, birth rates are low and specifically this demographic. It's very specifically, hey, the Jews are making sure that whites have less babies so that more brown people will come in and subvert the white population. This is the conspiracy theory that he's promoting in several of the tweets that I sent you. And this is Nazi
let's
shit.
go
okay?
through
This
those
is
tweets.
not-
Actually,
It is straight up.
do you think
Nazi
it'd
shit,
be
yeah.
helpful?
It's one of the most well-known anti-Semitic tropes that there is out there.
But let's see what.
And to be fair,
what
we
the
doing all
tweets
that,
actually are,
but it's still anti-Semitic.
because
okay?
I just looked at these tweets. You were.
I don't want to catch that.
Well, let's share it, and I'll let the audience decide. Okay,
No, I'm
before we go through this, can I say one thing, Whick, to challenge something you said about my postmodern neo-fascism, which is an epic and base term and very apt.
Sure.
You said that like it's a lot of $5 words and people aren't going to. I mean, Jordan Peterson made his entire career labeling the like vague leftism as postmodern neo-Marxism, and I think people generally understood the vibe that he was trying to characterize with that. So do you think that like the people that I'm speaking to by saying postmodern neo-fascism are just like too stupid to understand what I'm identifying?
I think a lot of people
what?
are
Like,
stupid.
Wait, radical. Has anyone said postmodern neo-Marxist in the past 5 years?
Probably Jordan Peterson at least.
Other than him,
But
I'm
I mean,
saying,
yeah,
did it catch
sure,
on?
Sure, you're right. People don't say it as, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. I think when I say postmodern neo-fascism, and I think all of you except for Whick, acknowledge that it's a very apt term. So
But we're all
I'll take
terminally
my W,
online,
bro.
right?
Well, let's take a poll in
Yeah.
chat. If you think that is an apt term, postmodern neo-fascism, press 1. If you are like, huh, or think it's a dumb term, press 2.
Can't
I
it
don't
be
think
both?
it's dumb,
Can't
by
it be
the
an
way.
apt term, but one that's just like obviously not going to speak to a lot of people, right? Like it's
Yeah.
obviously very descriptive.
I don't think it's a
but, like,
bad idea. I agree. Yeah.
but
Well,
if it's
I only have like 650 subs, so I'm working on it.
You can do it. I believe you. Gang, go follow him. Go follow Radical Coder. I have linked to his YouTube in my thing. But
Yeah, do the YouTube.
I do
that's where
think
I
it's
do the most
important to kind of go through some of these tweets that you sent me as obvious Nazi tweets, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
this one is very obvious to me. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, do you know who Raw Egg Nationalist is?
No.
Okay, so that's a big tell because he is a man who promotes like all. Oh, hold on, let me just first for the context before you show this tweet. Let's look at some Raw Egg Nationalist tweets. Let's look at some of his other stuff. All right. So we've got.
Well, hold on. Is this going to get
Hold
my
on.
channel in trouble?
I don't know. That's what do you mean? They're just bad people.
No,
They're just
Raw Egg
terrible,
National.
right?
Okay, first of all, if I retweet something, like I've retweeted things that right wingers have said, MAGA people have said that I agree with. Does that make me MAGA?
Not necessarily, but
Okay.
it's just good context of why
Beautiful.
these people are saying these things.
At least we got
now,
that right.
I've linked. Look at the first. I want you to look at these 3 things. So, Rog Nationalist, just for your context, he's a man who thinks like all blacks are violent. He celebrated Elon's Nazi salute as a Nazi salute, and has said this is how racist he is. Wick. He said whites do not need a white ethno state because every state should belong to the whites. That's how racist he is. It's like I've never even heard a white nationalist say that. Okay, so this is the context of the man whose tweet you're about to look at. So you can look at those on stream, or you can look at the one that Elon is boosting.
I'll check that out another time, but we'll go through here. But I'll just ask you, if Raw Egg Nationalist said that the sky is blue, would you agree with him?
Yeah, so if we're going to do the fallacy of, Hitler drank water, does that make me a Nazi? Of course not. It's the
He did, by the
promoting
way.
of, yeah, but he did drink water, that's true. And I drink water, and I also hate Jews. But look, daily reminder that mass immigration was a deliberate plan to fundamentally alter the demographics of the Western world. This is not, he said the sky was blue. This is promoting the white nationalist conspiracy replacement theory, okay? And Elon's boosting it.
Okay,
Yeah,
does
and
that...
this is there is very specific language in this. If you scroll up, it's reminder that can you scroll up? I'm sorry. Just the tweet language, right? That mass immigration was a deliberate plan, right? Deliberate plan by who? Obviously the Jews, right? To fundamentally alter the demographics of the Western world. This is a very well-known anti-Semitic trope. The mass immigration was created by the Jews as a plan to alter the demographics, aka like displace white people and create the decline of white people.
Hold on.
Basically.
In the American context, there are plenty of people who say that Biden's plan to create mass immigration was a plan by the Democrats to increase the voter base for Biden. Is that anti-Semitic?
So
the man who is saying this.
First of all, before anyone can say ideas, that's wrong and dumb. It's conspiracy theory. There's no proof for that. It's wrong and dumb.
There are
but I
useful
wouldn't
idiots who
necessarily
latch
consider
on to
that
the voter
anti-Semitic.
version of that. Yes, the man who posted this is the man who said every country belongs to whites because we are the conquerors, and says that blacks are inherently violent. Does that give you enough context to understand that he is talking about Jews in this tweet?
The tweet itself does not, though.
You're going to make me... Dude, I know you're smarter than this. Please, come on. You know
Hold
the
on.
swastika?
If I'm going through Twitter and I see someone say something I agree with and I retweet them, and then later I find out that they hate the Jews, is that my... do I...
I mean, Whick, I would hope that you wouldn't be tweeting about, like, the fears of the demographics.
Are you doing devil's
the
advocate
Western
right now? Is
world
that what's
being
going on?
No, I am showcasing, I think, what is a fallacy in reasoning that we do to paint people who do not deserve to be painted.
Whick,
as
Raw Egg Nationalist
right-wing.
is a Nazi nationalist channel.
Sure,
to spread
and you can tell that
anti-Semitic
by what he
conspiracy
says,
theories.
not what he retweets.
No, I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about Raw Egg Nationalist.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give that to you, but I'm talking about Elon.
Okay.
Elon
Okay.
retweeting
Right.
him or agreeing with something he has said does not, one, necessarily mean he knows that Raw Egg Nationalist is a Nazi or what have you, nor does it... Yeah,
right, and this is
that
why
is
I
correct.
said there's two options, Wick. Two options. One, Elon Musk is a Nazi, or at best, he's so fucking stupid that he doesn't know that he's retweeting Nazis constantly, that he endorsed the Nazi party, that his autistic spurgout looks like a Sieg Heil. If you believe that's more realistic than the apartheid-raised man being a white supremacist, white replacement, fucking apartheid state supporting neo-Nazi, sure, all right? I just think you are the fool here for falling for that.
I think
that's all I
it's
gotta say.
wild to think that someone came up on an American national stage and did a Sieg Heil twice to signal their Nazi allegiance.
I don't even
because
know
he's
if
a
it's Nazi
freak.
allegiance.
It is wild.
Wait, I don't know if it's Nazi allegiance even, Wick, but it's him. Let's say
That's
it's
what.
him.
No, hold on,
let's
hold on.
say-
That's what
let's
they're
say-
saying.
Wait. Let me just explain something to you, okay? Whether or not it was him signaling his Nazi allegiance, let's say that he was doing that. Haha, I'm so edgy. Look at me. I'm getting away with a Hitler salute, right? Let's say it's that much, right? Even if it were just that much, he's got enough in his history that I think it's reasonable for people to call him a Nazi, right?
Again,
the fact that he thinks he can get away with it, right?
I think that again, it makes us look
half joke
crazy.
Why?
Because
what about the evidence that I've presented you do you think is not convincing?
That's why
that
I'm
he's
going through
Nazi?
the evidence to show you why it's not convincing, but I'm fighting to fight tooth and nail because you've made up your mind, right? You think he's a Nazi, so therefore everything he does points to Nazism. You've decided the conclusion
No,
and
Wick,
you
it's
work
the
backwards
opposite. It's
and you
because
look
of
at all the
everything that
evidence
I've
and
shown
you
you
paint
that
a
I think
narrative
him
to
as a
show
Nazi.
he's a Nazi because you've already decided he's a Nazi.
No,
So
that's what we're
everything he
doing with
does
you.
and everything he
That's
says
what-
and
no.
everything he puts out obviously is him signaling his allegiance to Nazism because that's what you
It's
already believe.
the
This is the
exact
same
opposite,
exact
Wick.
problem that people on the right
Are there
have
other
when
tweets?
people...
Are there other tweets? Are there other tweets?
That, again, we're going to go through them.
100,000.
Can we go? Can we go through? Can we go through the other ones?
Okay, so here's one. Here's a second one where this guy says, what percent of the world's population is white? 7%. And Kekius Maximus, Elon Musk, says, and dropping fast.
Okay, now Wick, I will grant you, this tweet does not make Elon Musk a Nazi, right? All he's saying is a very empirical fact that the white population is dropping. Now, if I were to ask you, Wick, if you were to go on Twitter and find all of the tweets and all of the things anyone has ever said about white population dropping, which demographic do you think are the people pushing this?
The white demographic.
Right, but there's like a specific subset of white people. Because
yes.
I don't push this, and you don't push this, and Charlie doesn't push this, and Radical Cooler doesn't, and our token white Aryan, honor Aryan today, Star, does not push this. Who's pushing this, Elon? Like, who's pushing this?
Okay, but a lot of people push dropping birth
Radical
rates on
cool.
the left, right, and center.
No, white birth rates.
Okay.
Who's pushing this, Whick?
White nationalists usually.
Okay, white nationalists. Cool. All right. So at the very least, do you think this might indicate that Elon is white nationalist?
No, because he's agreeing with something that white nationalists has said that is true. This is true.
Do you agree? Would you say, hey, this is true? Would you retweet this?
Depending on the day, I might.
You would retweet that. You would retweet I am yes, you are no, a Nazi, by the way, who denies the Holocaust. He says MacArthur, he pushes the MacArthur tweet. We defeated the wrong enemy. This man is a Nazi.
Again,
just to
I
be
would
clear.
not know that scrolling through Twitter.
I'm
and
telling you
seeing
now.
this.
I'm telling you now.
Okay,
Right.
I
I'm just telling
understand that you were
okay.
saying that, but do you think that
Sure.
like, do you think they have like Nazi symbols next to them when you're going through your fucking Twitter feed?
I wouldn't be surprised if in a year they do.
Quick. Like, what? Do you have anxiety about white birth rates? Because I don't think you do.
No, but I have talked about
little...
birth rates before, right? I've talked about lowering birth rates before on my channel.
White birth
but
rates.
not the white
I'm
ones.
very specific about the white part.
It's the white ones. It's going, oh my god, the white people are disappearing.
Conversation about all the time. By the way, just FYI, here's him saying, "Oh, the Nazi Party. You mean common sense? That is. I am yes, you are no." So just in case you didn't think he was a Nazi, these people are much more explicit about it. The closest Elon
I
has
am
come to the
not
sun
arguing
is,
you with the people he's retweeting or what have you might very
okay.
well be in Nazis. I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to see that they probably are, right?
Why are you taking my word on those ones, but not on Elon?
Because
can we bring it back to? I'm sorry. Well, I was gonna bring it to Elon, but also like the Trump administration, they are like bringing refugees, quote unquote, from South Africa, alleging a genocide happening to white farmers and stuff, right? Like, which is. Are you aware of this stuff?
Does that make you a Nazi?
Whick, the Nazi Party used the plot of the plight of the Boers specifically to justify their ethnic cleansing. Yes, 100%. There are useful idiots that jump onto it. I wouldn't say that every single person who looks at this and buys into it is a Nazi necessarily, but 100% this was a tool used by the Nazis. It is being used by Nazis such as Elon Musk, and he is like trying to train Grok to make sure that it acknowledges, despite the facts of the matter, that white genocide is real, specifically in South Africa. So yeah, I would say that this is adjacent to the Nazis at the very least. But my question is this, Wick: if he was a secret Nazi, how would he be acting differently? If he's not one,
first
like
of all,
in your mind, let's say he's not one.
Be doing fucking Sig Heils on a national stage if he was a secret Nazi.
I mean, that's what I would be doing to signal to people.
Why not? Yeah, you said that was a trap, Wick.
I would dog whistle to people.
It was a trap because they know it makes you look crazy.
But if he was a secret Nazi who wanted to make me look crazy, why wouldn't he do it? Right? Why not? Like, for example, if I was secretly anti-Semitic, but I didn't want to signal it, and I had a sword that had a swastika on it, and I shared it in front of everyone and said, "Oh, what do you mean? It's just a sword." Do you think that might be something that might indicate some sort of anti-Semitism, or at least some sort of gaslighting about a true belief that I hold?
Of course not. And as Charlie will attest, I said that wasn't a very strong signal of anti-Semitism during our conversation about Hasan, where we reviewed the Ethan Klein versus Hasan debate, because it wasn't a very strong signal. I thought the Hamas tier list was a much clearer and stronger signal.
I didn't think that one was very strong.
This
the
is the problem.
Was not,
this is the same argument we had. We were reversed on this. I don't think the swastika sword was a very, very strong symbol, but I thought the Hamas thing was a much more stronger indication of Nazi or not Nazism. I'm sorry, we're getting our conversations mixed up.
I'm very frustrated. Can you play this 1 minute and 50-second YouTube clip that I just shared with you?
Give me a second. Let me unshare my screen so I don't, when I pull it up, I don't accidentally show anything I don't want to.
And you have to use the $12 I was saying to buy YouTube Premium within the next 48 hours, or I'll come find you.
I wouldn't say the Sabra Hummus thing. I would say specifically just the fact that he was like, "No, you're crazy, you're hallucinating." That's what was like.
That's the tell. 100%.
Yeah.
Because Wick, you might give a good defense of that. Like, oh, you know what? I just wanted the sword. I picked one. I didn't realize that. That does look bad, right? That's all you would have to say if you truly believed that. And I think that is a good defense. That is you being in good faith. But that's not what he did. He says, "What are you talking about? How could you possibly see that as a swastika?" Right? This is like very much a
when he called it the swastika sword. Like that was gaslighting.
Like
that was
Elon Musk knows it looks like a Nazi.
One slightly different defense to that. Have you ever heard Hasan give in on any point?
No.
in that debate or in any other debate.
No, they're both very stubborn
on
men.
anything, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
like
makes him
he
look
does. He just
horrible.
doesn't. So it's
Well, they were
it's kind
both
of hard to
very
isolate
stubborn men
that.
that hate each other.
No doubt, yeah, and it's hard. It's hard for me to isolate that point as it being him like signaling anti-Semitism as much as him just being like a stubborn asshole. But that's
I think
you know
when
maybe
it's
that's
that
just
important that's what something that you should do, and I think there are way too many other factors at play there that make it very clear to me that it was very much meant to trigger Ethan, and whether it was meant to trigger him or not, it was still coming from a place of like, let's use his background against him, and using somebody's background against them is wrong, and it can be racist or anti-Semitic, right? So. Yeah.
Anyway, Whick, this sketch is how I feel right now.
I understand.
I am the main character, but I think this is also very funny. It's in German. You have to read. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, is there no subtitles?
There are
yeah.
subtitles.
Nazi.
I've seen this.
Wie bitte? Haben Sie mich gerade als Nazi beschimpft?
Na, Sie sind doch einer.
Das ist ja eine Unverschämtheit. Nur weil ich in der NSDAP und in der SS bin, bin ich noch lange kein Nazi. Wahrscheinlich bin ich auch noch rechtsextrem, oder was?
Ja, aber was sollen Sie denn sonst sein?
Ich bin vielleicht ein besorgter Bürger, der Angst vor Überfremdung hat. Aber ich bin nicht rechts. Und ich bin erst recht kein Nazi. Hey, Sie da? Sehe ich etwa wie ein Nazi aus?
Nö, würde ich jetzt nicht sagen.
Na, sehen Sie? Aber der ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, hm? Nazis, 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 lauter Nazis. Wenn einem die Argumente ausgehen, dann holt man schnell mal die gute alte Nazikeule raus.
Es hat doch nichts mit Nazikeule zu tun.
Sie machen sich das Leben sehr einfach. Nur weil jemand die Mainstream-Meinung nicht teilt, ist er gleich ein Nazi.
Aber Nazi sein ist doch längst Mainstream. Ihr Nationalsozialisten seid an der Macht.
Ach ja, ich vergaß. In Ihrer Welt sind ja alle Nazis. Der Führer ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, was?
Ja.
Jetzt reicht's aber. Führerbeleidigung. Mitkommen.
Das sind jetzt über...
Ja, ich weiß. Nazi-Methoden.
Anyway, that's how I feel right now, Rick. I'm very frustrated with you.
I understand you're frustrated, but I'm frustrated with you for the exact same reason. Because you're putting this is what Elon's doing, but what you're giving me as evidence is what other people have done.
And him retweeting those tweets.
Yes, that's the problem. It's the association that you were pointing to as the proof.
Pointing out the decline in white birth rates, which you admitted was a white nationalist kind of thing, specifically white birth rates. And let's accept that I am yes, you are no is a Nazi. Now, you said I might retweet a birth rate thing. Maybe. Okay, Whick. I think that'd be a little weird. Unless you're just talking about, hey, look, let's talk about birth rates and how this is going to affect the future. Now, if I saw you on my timeline retweeting as something complaining about specific white birth rates, I would immediately DM you. It'd be like, hey, buddy, are you a Nazi? Or did you accidentally do this because you're just trying to you're worried about this specific thing. Maybe you fell for it. And then I would try to talk you out of it. But if you're doing this intentionally and knowing, and then people, I am sure people have talked to him about this and still leaving it up and still understanding what it is. Yeah, I think you're a fucking Nazi. I'm sorry. This is so explicit to me. I just don't see how you can't read between the lines because he's not literally out there Sieg Heiling. Oh, wait, he is.
It wasn't a Sieg Heil. I can find videos of you, right? Of a lot, not
videos
you
of me Sieg Heiling?
Not you specifically, right? But
that's
videos
true,
of
but
people.
that's true. Well, that's true. Okay, wait, you could find videos of me Sieg Heiling, to be fair. I mean,
oh, maybe. I don't know.
Look,
right?
I like that new Kanye banger. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like us Jews got to.
Can I just say, the fact that the chorus there is so catchy is dangerous. Okay, I find myself humming it sometimes. Do you guys not? Right, you find yourself humming it a little
No, it's
bit?
catchy.
You fell for my trap, Whick, and this is why we know
does
that
that
you're
make me
a
Nazi because I think it's a catchy little tune?
If you're humming
we might be Nazis,
yourself,
Whick.
I would be questioning your allegiances. That's all I'm gonna say.
It wasn't even good though. The song isn't even good.
The song
Kanye has made some incredible music.
Okay,
I thought that at
hang
first
on.
it was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
it's kind of good.
It's actually like not a bad song. I mean, it
I
is
guess
a bad
I'm gonna
song,
have
but
to
it's
listen
not, like,
to it all the way
musically.
through because I just felt like it was not very good.
But I mean, to be fair, I like Kanye's music. I like Life of Pablo and on. I really like that era of Kanye music, even though it's insane. I just musically appreciate it a lot, so I might be biased towards that.
Okay, but yeah, that's aside, right?
I think we're at an impasse
We
here.
are at an impasse, and we are.
I think no one's going to change their mind on
We're not
this.
changing our minds. I'll give my
Okay,
closing
but just to be
argument.
clear, can I summarize something real quick, Wick? Because I think there's something that we both agree on that we could talk about next, real quick. But my last.
We do have to go soon. I'm just saying.
Right, but this is very fast. This is a call to hey, everyone, pay fuck attention. It's the tweet I sent you on Trump's Bruce Springsteen tweet. I think this is very important.
Yeah,
This is fucking scary.
I'd agree with you.
Look, all right. So to be clear, and this is not me trying to gut you, Wick, but this is just to summarize what we talked about. Okay, we agree. Elon Musk promotes white nationalist conspiracy theories. Elon Musk promotes white genocide conspiracy theories. Elon Musk promotes anti-Semitism. In fact, we would say that he is anti-Semitic. Not probably. He is anti-Semitic. He agreed to a very anti-Semitic tweet. Elon Musk, at the very least, is endorsing a party that he might not know is Nazis, but he's endorsing what you would agree are Nazis. But that doesn't make him a Nazi by doing it. And
I do have to read this super chat.
If I can look at all that and just say, that's all maybe the most abhorrent thing, and distinguishing you from a Nazi is it just doesn't matter at that point. It's inconsequential. Sure, okay, but also he's a Nazi. That's all I have to say.
$5 from Jake and Bake to say, do you not see the irony of being charitable to Elon Musk while disparaging Hasan Piker? And I want to answer this because I think it's important.
Do you not see that, Wick?
Not see? Oh,
they're everywhere.
Man, yeah, it's everywhere. This is the trick and this is the trap that because I won't call Elon Musk the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst thing, that somehow I'm being charitable to Elon Musk. I can give you tweet after tweet after tweet of me calling him all sorts of bad names, disparaging him, condemning him when I think he's done wrong, saying he's a threat to the country, all these things. And to act as if somehow that makes me being charitable to Elon Musk because I won't call him the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst is silly. And I just reject that.
I'm here and you're here and I need you to be here. That's all I'm saying. All right. You just need to
You're just trying to show off your guns at this point, right? Just like I need you to be.
No, when I do it, I do it.
Here, yeah, something. No, but
wait.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do you think that you would say that the Elon absolutely like thrives in playing with the uncertainty that people have about whether or not
he uses
yeah. This is the kind of thing that I'm characterizing with my postmodern neo-fascism. I just wanted to hammer that down because I think it's a really great term. I want to catch on really badly.
Postmodern neo-fascist expert here. Okay, fair enough. You can have that term. I'll give it to you. This is the issue that I'm having, and I'll summarize it. Then I'll give everyone closing thoughts on this. And we'll kind of call it a day. And first of all, thank you, everyone, for kind of joining me on Wick and Friends today, where we took a celebratory victory lap because all my enemies are getting arrested for pedophilia.
Can I get the summary of what you had to say about Aston Mack?
I
just want the summary.
So let me just read you one of these texts that he gave, okay? Let me get it. It's almost there. There's a lot of them. Hold on.
Oh, so you didn't see the earlier part, Star?
Oh, here we go. When suspect, quote unquote, Aston Mack says, "This seems like a setup. Cops can't do shit about a video. Can you at least speak on the phone? This is sketchy. Or if you're going to send a picture with a date, have her topless in it so I can say y'all are legit." And remember, he thinks that this person is a 15-year-old girl. And he is soliciting child pornography to prove that she is really who she says she is. Send me a topless picture, right? So I can be sure you guys are legit of a 15-year-old girl. That is crazy. First of all my enemies eventually will get arrested for pedophilia because they're all pedophiles. If you go against
hell yeah,
a pedophile, right? I'm memeing there, right?
Many such
but
cases.
Aston Mack,
they
used virtue as a shield. They condemned me as a Nazi. I think they called you a Nazi, didn't they? Right, Stardust? You can confirm or deny.
Yeah, they did.
That one's true, though.
Yeah, just be wary of people calling everyone Nazis.
Is it because you and Richard Spencer on, but you argued with them the whole time?
I don't know if you saw the memes that they.
Oh, they were terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was like a picture. It was like the picture of the one girl sitting, and then all the guys surrounding her. But instead of like you know, the normal porn scene. It was like a bunch of guys in white hoods and stuff, and it was pretty gross.
Wait, Star, I do have to ask because the only reason I feel comfortable bringing this up is because I think it's such a stupid thing to say about you. Did someone call you? They said you look like a can opener. What the fuck does that mean?
I have no idea what that means.
Like,
at this point, I'm
that's
just
so
used to it.
stupid. Yeah. Well, don't listen to them. All right. Unless it's a very
I can't
very
even
good can opener,
conceptualize what that could be like
Right?
referring
You can
to.
comment on my nose, but like I don't think my nose is like disproportionate with my face, so I'm not like
or
bothered
like
by it.
hooked or something.
Yeah.
But by the way, Wick, I just sent you a Matt Walsh tweet, and this is in your defense, or I guess kind of in your defense, which is Matt Walsh retweeted an AI image of a swastika. I don't think Matt Walsh is a Nazi. I just think he's a horrible white nationalist racist.
Oh, I
all
didn't
right?
know this was a swastika till someone drew it. Like I
Can you
would have
show it on
fallen for this
screen?
too.
Can you show this one on screen? Because if
Yeah.
you squint for a half second, it's very
funny.
obviously a swastika. I think it's just like those like
Give me a
Hitler, but he's a
second.
hamburger pictures.
It took me a minute to notice it. I think I suspect that Matt Walsh probably potentially didn't notice it right away.
I think
and
you
then
You
just
can
doubled
notice
down
it
on
when it's zoomed out, right? Like
Us
this.
us
Yeah,
Jews,
yeah.
us Jews have a sense for this. Okay.
But I did not notice it at
Fair.
first. I would have just been because I focused on the faces, not their dress. It was weird
Right,
if you
but
looked
just
at
like
their bodies,
just
right? They're
squint
young
just ever
kids.
so slightly. It's very obviously AI.
Well, now that I've
I'll
seen
put
it,
it there.
I obviously can see it because it was drawn out, right? And so now I can't help but see.
Where's the swastika? Am I insane?
it. See?
Oh, see.
See?
God.
It's here. It's
Am I crazy?
Their dresses
Oh
are.
God. Mute your stream. Oh God.
right? You see,
If
you
you-
see it? Do you see the
If you
Move your
if
head like
back
up and down
your,
like
if
Really
you
just
back
like
your head up
squint a little
bit.
bit.
Yeah, back your head up a little bit from the picture, kind of zoom out of it.
Also, look at the way that like their bodies are positioned by the AI. To
Oh,
be
it
in
does
the, like,
kind
the
of
Freud-
look like swastika. Oh, if you squint and back up,
Yes,
yeah, if you
yes,
back up
yeah.
and squint, it's like extremely a swastika.
It's the hamburger Hitler
Yes.
picture all over again. It's made by
Yeah,
AI. They're
oh
very
my
good at this.
God.
It takes a minute though. So Matt Walsh
That's
probably
right,
did
and
not see it, right? And just retweeted
Right.
it.
I
I'm
mean, I wouldn't
agreeing
have
with you,
seen it
Wick. I am
either.
agreeing.
Me neither.
This is like he's just a racist because if you look at what is this? This is a white nationalist tweet. It's saying, "Look at this. Look at these white people and how we're so good, and look at these like evocative of Aryan racist things." But I don't think Matt Walsh is a Nazi because he's buddy with Ben Shapiro. So
So I thought Elon Musk was too, but fair enough.
no, you can see how bored and uninterested he was at Auschwitz because he's like, "I can't believe this stupid fucking Jew dragged me out here."
Also, didn't he only do that because
Christ, dude.
he posted some anti-Semitic bullshit?
He did
Like,
that
it was
in
like
response to
specifically, like, in
his
response-
anti-Semitic
Yeah.
tweet. That's right.
Maybe I learned that from your video.
You learned that from my video.
I didn't see
Oh,
the
good,
video,
good,
so
good.
fair enough. How can I not see it, guys? Not see it? No, but yeah. In where was? Oh, we were winding down. I was trying to get rid of you guys because I need to eat and do other things.
Finally.
But first of all, Aston Mack is a pedophile, and
I
I
still can't
hope
believe it.
justice. I hope justice is done and he serves time. Pedophiles should be behind bars. Yeah. If you're going to use virtue as a shield, a safe space as a predatory ground to hunt your prey, which these people do. Yeah, you deserve what's coming to you. Okay, gang, that's been fun. If you've enjoyed this content, we went all over the place. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, send me money. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
Send him money.
Send me
YouTube
gift subs,
Premium.
all that. If you're watching this on Twitch or on Kick, hit that follow button. And I will end with this. I think that it is important to do what is needed, right, to convince people to vote for us. And I think that doing things that will push people away is unhelpful. And we should avoid doing those things that push people away or propping up people that will push us away, push people away from us. And we should positively, proactively do things that will draw people towards us. And that's my statement. We're going to give it to Soy Pill first. We're going to let Charlie have the last word. Soy Pill, give us your closing.
Yeah, I think if everyone goes to the soy pill on YouTube and looks at the Elon Musk is racist video, which by the way, I did not call Elon Musk as a Nazi because I saved it. I agree there's rhetorically advantage to not breaking out the Nazi word right away, and then you can slip it in there at the last 10 minutes when you prove unequivocally that this man is almost definitely a Nazi. I think I agree with Whick. There is rhetoric strategy to that. To everyone watching, I would say thank you for supporting, and also Trump just tweeted something that on any other day would seem like an innocuous tweet, but I think is maybe one of the most sure signs of like a dictator thing going on, which is he is threatening an artist who Bruce Springsteen for speaking out against him. I think this is one of the more scary thing because yes, obviously all the things that I've complained about in the past few months are bad. This is explicitly, hey, I'm going to start going after people who disparage me who are U.S. citizens because I don't like the things they said. This is fucking insane. Buy guns. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I invited Soy Pill and he turned me down, and then about 20 minutes in,
And then
he's like,
I needed companionship, Wick. I missed you. All right.
I
Had
hope
a bad
that
day.
we helped. I hope that yelling at me, right, and fighting with me
This
helped make you feel
immensely
better.
helped, and I thank you, Wick, for having me on short notice. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate that.
Stardust.
Hi. So I'm Stardust. You can find well, first off, I'll just say, yeah, like I try to approach everything here with a pretty moderate lens, but you know, I'm obviously like I'm very liberal, and most of these days I cover drama content, though I will be getting back into politics eventually. You can find most of my content right now on the YouTube channel Star-Crossed Off. I'm probably going to be changing the name of that, but yeah, so just find me there and stuff. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun. So yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. Always.
Oh, coming
always
to VidCon? VidCon?
I will be
Radical
at VidCon.
VidCon?
Yeah, I will be.
Wick
at VidCon.
VidCon?
If you guys pay my way, I'll go. Right.
Yeah, that's
you cheapskate.
I am. I'm
like,
poor.
on that note,
I'm poor. Radical poor. Radical poor. Radical coder.
Yeah.
Give us your.
I mean, true, but yeah. So I mean, on that note, I'm Radical Coder Ryan. I've recently come back into the space with a vengeance. It's great to see you, Star. It's been a pleasure, Soy Pill. I'm excited for our 2v2, where we are absolutely going to demolish Rachel Wilson, who is a terrible person. It's going to be a lot of fun. This has been a really, really fun conversation, and I'm starting to stream regularly. I've been posting a lot of content. I've been using AI to help me organize my thoughts. I'm a super neurospicy ADHD person, and finally I've been able to actually, that's fine. You can disavow. We can fight about that later. But like I've finally been able to like organize my chaotic thought process into something productive, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I hope that people will come check out my channel. I think I made a good case tonight for the postmodern neo-fascist label, and I highly recommend that people come. If you disagree with me about it, come fight with me about it. I love debating, love arguing with people, love learning. Learning is radical. I'm Ryan, Radical Coder, and hopefully I'll see you all very soon. I'm about to hit 650 subs, so come help me.
Get him to 1,000, gang. Get him some money, right? Let's get everyone here some money, okay? We want everyone, all rising tide lifts all boats. Let's
no, Radical, if you're streaming
100%.
YouTube on the 26th, remind me. I will raid into you, and then non-fun could be mad at me
yeah.
because I usually raid into him.
Deal.
That's
yeah,
funny.
fuck non-fun. I'm with you.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, and I hope you had fun, right? Even though
I did have fun. I did have a blast.
Charlie, give us your thoughts.
I wasn't on my Adderall at all, and I had fun and paid attention the whole time. That's amazing. That doesn't happen usually. Yeah, anyway, closing thoughts. I think Hasan is okay. I will say one thing. I think his glazers are annoying, but I do think it's nice that at least the left does have a talking head that appeals to young people. That's at least one good thing. Fucking finally, that's not like Andrew Tate. I stream on Twitch mostly. I do a bunch of bullshit. Tonight I'm gonna be Gandalf. Big Naturals Gandalf, and answering questions on Tolkien because I have a master of letters in literature, fantasy literature, and Tolkien's my specialty. So
Very cool.
Big Natural Scandal. Check her out. Gang.
Google it. Google it.
There's jokes about staves of my rod of power and things.
Yeah,
I won't make
yeah,
those. But anyway,
yeah.
crystal balls. Anyway. Again, check her out. Links to all these people channel except for Soy Pill, which I will add after because Soy Pill. I do these before
No, I know. I just put all their links in there too. And by the way, I do tell my chat to subscribe to you every time because I resent that you boosted me first out of all the bigger names, and that somehow you're not growing to the extent that you deserve.
People
you
don't
deserve
like
it more,
me,
Whick.
but it's okay. It's because I'm a bit of a stubborn guy who won't go along with the crowd and toe the line if I disagree with the line. But that's okay. That's what makes me great. And it's not how many people watch it, it's who watches you, and that's what's important. But thank you all again. We're gonna end the stream. Tune in next week. So next week, what do we got cooking, gang? I'm trying to set up.
Can I just say one thing?
No, go ahead.
Before you do, okay, I think Whick is a very important person in this space. I think these kinds of like collaborative panels are very important, and so I think it's great if you guys like seeing this kind of collaborative content. There's not very many people who are setting these things up, so I think give Whick your support. And it's great. He really introduces like new people to crowds all the time. He gives everybody the ability to come on and have a voice, and yeah, he treats everybody equally.
Well, thank
Get Whick to 10,000. I'll do a Gandalf Big Naturals. All right.
Ooh, you know what? We can do the Fellowship of the Rings Big Naturals style. I will be Frodo.
And my tits.
And exactly.
I
And,
support it.
Exactly. We can get a whole cosplay thing going, right? Maybe I should start like a fundraiser for that, or not a fundraiser. One of those goals. One of those goals.
Do a sub goal, dude.
A sub goal. So we can all do like this in-person recording, right? Fellowship of the Rings, Big Naturals, like make it a day production, right? Where we fly you all out, or everyone goes to the same place, and we do like a fucking whole thing. But that would
fly me out, Whick.
Yeah, I would if I made enough
You
money.
do that for me?
Right, exactly. Look, I get flown out to places. Why not fly you out if I had the
Also,
money?
Whick one time a long time ago, years ago, dressed up like a dog for one of my panels.
That's true.
And I will always remember and hold that memory in my heart. Very,
We
very
call that
deep in my
sub
heart.
goals.
True. Yeah. I dressed up as a clown and as a
I think
kitty
Stardust
cat.
was the first person to platform me, like one of the first like progressive person to platform
I
me.
do got to
that
tell
is.
people what I got coming on so I can actually end the suffering of my chat here. So what do I got coming up? So next week we're gonna do I'm trying to get together, and I want to do a panel with Tali and someone else, some other woman, versus 2 red pillars who think women shouldn't vote. And I want to get 2 women versus 2 red pillars who think they shouldn't vote. I want to get them to fight. That should be fun. I'm trying to set that up. That should be good content. I'm also on the 26th going to have Not So Erudite on, and we're also going to have Misfit Patriot on, and we're going to have a discussion on a lot of things. But keep follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube. Join my Discord for announcements. Thank you all. I will see you guys Monday. Bye-bye. Wait, bye, everyone.
Bye. Wait.
Everyone.